It's very, very quiet this morning so far.
Well, I'll take care of that.
Yeah.
Going on, Corey?
What's up, man? Where's your breakfast?
I know I got to go make some. People don't start talking. Maybe that's what I'm going to do.
Just live stream Mickey eating breakfast.
Live stream me making it.
Yeah. Let's take us to the kitchen.
Let's see if I can. This right in the back. Oh, there's still a little bit of glare.
Justin, is that a Macross Mid-May shirt?
It is.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
I made these for a couple of friends.
Oh, cool.
I think he's the only person to actually recognize that yet.
I mean, it's like, I grew up with like Robotech, and then you figure out where Robotech comes from, and you see all the other stuff, and yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Robotech. I didn't recognize that shirt at all.
Yeah. It's a fake tour shirt. Like, so the back has like tour dates for the when she would have been on tour.
Right.
Sometimes you get a wild hair to do a dumb project, and I spent a couple days doing this.
Oh, that's a good one. This is too bright.
Trying to figure out.
Is Joe actually here, or is he just?
He popped in. Yeah, there he is.
Are you in Japan? I can't hear you.
You did?
No, I'm in my son's lacrosse game.
Oh, okay.
But I'm in the car, so I'm trying to stay warm. It's too cold outside.
I thought you were going over there.
Yeah, we leave tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be crazy.
You were going to be our boots on the ground representative, so make us proud.
I'll try. No one's like responded. It's really weird. It's like I don't really know how to like organize it, but
I don't know if it's just because they haven't. I don't know. Like normally with the celebrations, the attachment leaders get like a tip off a couple weeks prior about photos, and then we sign up for slots, and it just hasn't been like that this time.
So there is in the main forum there is a slots thing, and I submitted like at the time that I put in our forum, and I also posted it in like a Facebook group that's for like Legion Japan, but I've gotten like no responses. And what's his name? Sunny? Is it Sunny?
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to him, but he said that he wasn't going to be wearing the Pathfinder, because I was like, I'm going to be in another costume. So I was hoping to like talk to the Pathfinder and be like, hey, could you guys like, stay here until I come back? But we'll see.
I would just grab whoever you can after the main dude.
Yeah, my wife will be without like a heavy costume too, so she can hopefully help.
Okay.
She's right next to me. She's looking at me like,
I mean, if I
about?
was going to Japan, I would not be bringing armor with me. So don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm bringing a soft one. Initially, I was going to bring the Pathfinder, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Just too many things can go wrong, and
we'll see how it goes. We have 11 bags.
Ooh.
Wow.
I hope you have a lot of kids to help carry them.
I do.
Wow, that's
We'll
awesome.
see.
I wanted to go so bad, but my my wife's job, which is organizing Viva Las Vegas Rockabilly Weekend, is literally the weekend after.
Oh.
So it's like it's two weeks from today. It'll be in full swing. So it's like this is her crunch time.
Yeah.
I mean, our house is just filled with all this merch and stuff that we got to take there, and it's just a mess. Timing couldn't be worse.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I initially didn't want to go. It was my wife that convinced me. She's like, "Let's go." I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list of places to go to. I've never been. I've been to Europe a bunch of times, but I've never been to Asia at all.
Let's see.
All right. Well, I see people lurking. Mark Williams, Jessica Williams. Speak up.
Hi there. I don't know what questions I have yet. I'm thinking.
Do you have a costume now?
We are working on it currently. We want to go out for May the 4th and Free Comic Book Day weekend.
Awesome. Which costume?
Scout Trooper, Return of the Jedi.
Best.
Yes.
The absolute best. What's your status right now?
So we have 3D printers, and we're 3D printing my armor at the moment. I think we are pretty much done with that, and right now we're in the middle of sanding everything down,
Okay.
adding the filler and the spray. Nothing's painted just yet. I don't have the official suit to be approved right now. It's just a tight black bodysuit, so eventually I will change that.
Okay. What 3D files did you go with?
I think Mark Williams could answer that one. That's my husband on there.
Mark Williams. We can't hear you, Mark Williams.
Mark is shy.
Might be having technical difficulties.
Well, that's okay.
He's the 3D printer master.
All right. I was just wondering if you were using Mr. Poopy's files, because we got Mr. Poopy right here on the call.
Hi.
Oh, let me check with that. Hang on.
Hi.
Galactic Armory.
Okay.
As long as they're the updated ones, the recent ones.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. We like doing cosplay, and I enjoy the sanding and all the process.
Wow.
You like standing? Like, awesome.
I do. I do.
I send
You
you
need a
all my
shower
updated
afterwards, but I do.
project.
It's something we all do as a family.
And I see does that say Darcy or Dashi? Dashley? What does that say? I can't see that. I need
So my name is Darcy. I just put Dashi because that's my tag on the forums.
Okay.
In case no one knew me by my name, I just put that on there just for reference.
Welcome to the virtual armor party. What costume are you building?
Currently making a shore trooper. Not exactly sure which version of the shore trooper. It's probably between the captain or the squad leader, but from the Mandalorian. So
Okay.
still has like the captain design. Just I guess the color scheme is different, and I think the belt is different, but still has like the ammo pouches. I'm sure y'all know, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a jumble.
Yeah. So, because I like the the typical grunt design with the hip armor and the pieces and all, and the ammo pouch. I like all of that design, but I like the blue because blue's my favorite color. So I like the beige with the blue contrast there. So I was back between those two styles, and I thought about the Rogue One squad leader, but I do like the traditional look with the hip pieces and the pouches, just because seems more shore trooper to me. I don't really doesn't matter, but yeah.
Yeah, the Rogue One squad leader is very popular because it's the easiest one to sit down in.
That's right. There's no lower
hip
armor pieces there.
The hip armor makes it a challenge to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a shore trooper captain, and we got our armor team shore trooper Joe Minimo over here. So any
how's it going, Joe?
Questions we're happy to answer. What kit did you get?
So just this is my first time doing any trooper at all. So just from the forums and watching actually your videos on YouTube, I've seen, and just trying to gather as much information as possible. As far as the body goes, I went with Imperial Surplus. And as the helmet, I have not decided where to go. I thought maybe Imperial Surplus might be good as well, but I hear a lot of these different things. I usually like if it's simple for me. So if I could get the kit from like Imperial Surplus, if the helmet's good, I'll probably get it from them as well, just to keep it together.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it might match since they're the same type of kit. And as far as like a lot of the soft parts go, I got a lot of it from Keep Trooping. I got kind of their whole shore trooper setup there that they had, you know, top, bottom, gloves, belt, etc. Now, the one thing I had trouble kind of finding, I don't know if there's a specific place for me to try to find it, was the Orca Bay boots, like the official boots. I try to look around, but I couldn't seem to really find like a vendor or online vendor or store to kind of go to.
I know Joe, they had low stock for a while, right? And now it's back, I think.
Yeah, they did have low stock for like the sand version, but as far as I know, they're back in stock. I can't remember her name, but I can find the link to the person that like gives like I think she gives like 5 or 10% discount for members.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hold on.
I have the link.
She posts on Shore Trooper Fam, I think, and like every quarter or something, she's like does like a little discount sale, and I think she's the distributor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Where did I get them from?
I think the one website I did see was like started with a K, like Kristen's something.
Catherine Pardis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is it?
Catherine Pardis.
Okay.
And I'll just there's a chat in this thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me
down in the bottom right corner.
I'll just post up the link that I have. The boots aren't too bad. I mean, they're like 100 and something, which for leather boots in this business is pretty good. I mean, I've definitely paid a lot more for costume boots than that.
Yep.
And the Orca Bay boots are great. They're super comfortable. They're easy to slip on and off. You'll wear them in your regular life.
Yeah, because other than that, I was just going to go with, just because I got all the soft parts from there, was the Keep Trooping. They had boots there, so I was just going to go with that. But if I could, like you said, based around the price and everything, and it's not too far from the Orca Bays, if I could be able to just get the Orca Bays, I would just go that route just to have them.
I would just get the Orca Bays. They're easy enough. There's another one. What's the other?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Arn, hello.
Yeah. Ognipa Schulke, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're not notice my name. So
Hold
just
on.
wanted to say hi. Don't have any questions, but well, I don't know when the last time there was the virtual armor party is. I think 2 or 3 years ago.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's about right. We stopped. We did them a lot during COVID, of course, because people were stuck at home. And then once things started opening back up, the demand seemed to have gone down. But we figured it was time.
It's a nice feature, I think.
Will you guys keep doing more after this, or is this just a every once in a while thing?
We were doing like one a quarter for a while.
Yeah.
And we just, noticed that there was a drop off, and we had a lot of people from Asia Pacific kind of be like, hey, this time doesn't work for us. Do one for us. So we're like, okay, we'll do one super late.
Oh, yeah,
And
tiny
we
films
did,
are hard.
and nobody showed up for it. So
Oh no, that's terrible.
I think that was the last one we did. Okay, here's another link, and this one's to Ardmore, and that's where I got mine from. Okay.
Okay. Works.
I will say that I have the Keep Trooping ones in the closet for my what is it, like 12-year build process for the my
Short
short
trooper.
trooper that's still in the box. I mean they're fine, but like they're I mean they kind of look like what you would think they are, which is like sort of like knockoff boots. And so the quality is I don't think the price point is that different, particularly when you look at shipping for Keep Trooping, potential import duties and things like that. I think I think it's probably better to go with the real ones. And I think those boots, the real ones, will probably last longer as boots than the ones from Keep Trooping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I just don't think it's worth it to try to save money on buying slightly cheaper boots, because then it's gonna bother you that they're not the real ones. At some
Yeah,
point, you'll look
probably.
at these boots and be like, "Why didn't I just spend the extra $40 and get the real ones?" You know what I mean?
Yes. Plus, well, the idea is always like, for me, as I go to start to do it, to reach level 2, if not from the beginning, at least eventually. So just to have the parts at the beginning, like you said in one of your videos, if I buy, let's say to Keep Trooping, and then I want a level 2, I'll eventually have to buy the boot again. So if I'm going to pay the money, I might as well just put that towards the real
just get it.
boot.
Yeah, I mean, you've already got Imperial boots. You've got, you've already got Imperial surplus armor. So, I mean, clearly, that was a good investment.
Yeah.
I would just take the same attitude with the boots.
Absolutely.
Joe, do you have any helmet advice? I mean, the gold standard kind of pre-made helmet would be the Anovos or whatever.
Novo now.
Yeah, whatever they're called now. But they are tough to get, and they do require a repaint. I know Imperial Surplus, they're on the version 2 of their short trooper, but did that apply to the helmet as well, or just the armor?
I think they did do upgrades for the helmet. Mine is printed from it's the Nico helm.
Yeah.
I've had it side by side with the Anovos, and I feel like the Anovos is like a little bit wider, so I kind of like. I don't really like the Nico. I got a second helmet. I can't remember the maker. It's a German cast. And I really like it. I just haven't painted it yet. But I think I can send you the link, Darcy. You can take looks. Didn't Imperial Surplus work with Nico to cast his? Or am I confusing that with a different kit?
I think you're talking about 850 Armor Works. I watched a video where I think they said they worked with someone, and I thought they mentioned Nico. If that's the same person that's like NXT3D or something like that, then it would probably be them. Other than that, I'm not too sure about Imperial Surplus.
I'll do a little bit of research and get back to you on that one. I think I heard that, but I just can't remember right now.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Kevin, Imperial Surplus, has a really, really high standard for quality. So that sounds like something he would do.
Yeah.
So would you say
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, if I happen to get the Imperial Surplus helmet, would you say that's a pretty good way to go, or
absolutely.
There's better options?
No, I think the Imperial Surplus is a good way to go. There are, like Joe was saying, there's 3D printed, if you have access to it. And then, and the gold standard one is the Anovos, Dueno, whatever they're fucking called now. And that's only because they 3D scanned the props from the movie. So, they have the inside sort of track on Star Wars props since they have a license from Disney. That's the helmet I have. But the Shore Trooper helmet, the original paint job that they supply is like a mustard yellow, and it's not the right color. So I had to, repaint it with the Sahara beige. But it's a great helmet, it looks awesome. So
Yeah, I did think of that. Like trying to find a kit that's already kind of finished, but just me seeing stuff like videos and forums and things like that, I would have to repaint it anyway. So I thought, well, I might as well just get a kit, and I just had to do it from the beginning, because obviously I want my paint on the helmet to match the armor. I don't want.
Oh yeah, it has.
Yeah, because I
you're fine with Imperial surplus. You really are.
Okay.
That's a quality kit.
All right, definitely.
I'm not just saying that because I know Kevin and I like him.
Then
there's a lot of good armor makers out there.
Do you have any places to where you would go for like the ammo pouch? I tried Googling, there's a couple places I found, but is there like a specific spot for like the ammo pouches?
What is that? There was the
Hungarian
ammo
pouch.
There was a surplus store that we were all getting them from for a while, and it was like in Norway.
Oh yeah, it was in like a former like block country.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Darcy, we have a vendor list on the forum that has a lot of this stuff.
Oh, okay. I haven't come across that yet.
I'll put put that in the link, and then let me see if I can find the exact. I'm trying to remember.
I think I got mine off of eBay. I mean, as long as it's the right model.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a million of them out there in various surplus stores.
Exactly. And
of varying quality in terms of wear. I don't mean just because some of them are like salt encrusted, and some of them can be in pretty rough shape. So check the photos, but they shouldn't be too scarce to find.
Mm-hmm. I don't see the ammo pouch on our vendor list, and I'm wondering if it's because that one store that didn't carry them anymore or just ran out of them. But yeah, eBay, you can find those things pretty easily. I think I bought my ammo pouch from the surplus store that we were referring to, and when it showed up, it didn't have the oiler, and I ended up getting the oiler off of eBay for like $7.
See what I could find. Hopefully I could find something that comes with all the parts, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry, Darcy. Just want to see who else is checked in here. We got Avi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you just here to hang out and commiserate?
I'm just chilling. I'm just
We're
hanging
not going
out.
to Japan. Well, Joe's going to Japan. The rest of us are not.
Yeah.
Justin, are you going?
No. I'd have to hang out with too many tourists.
Justin goes in for that authentic experience.
Yeah, I gatekeep Japan. So.
But you go there several times a year already, right?
At least once, sometimes twice. Yeah.
Okay.
Right before COVID started, I had like 4 weeks worth of money saved up. I had the itinerary ready. I was looking at the train schedule thing. I was ready to go, and then everything went down. And long story short, I've yet to visit Japan, but one of these days, man.
Yeah, same. Jessica's still here. Who else do we have? Brian Bachelor?
Ryan, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan?
Not much. Yeah, I just got my armor approved. I'm basically looking at advice on weathering. I haven't done any weathering to it. So,
Which kit?
um,
I'm sorry. Which costume first?
oh, the Scout Trooper,
Return of the Jedi or Mando?
Return of the Jedi. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. It was that big run we did. I always forget the maker of it.
Studio. Was it Studio Creations?
Yes, that's it. Studio Creations. Yeah.
Okay, it's a good kit. And so, what you didn't weather it right now? It's just Death Star parade style.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing
So
wrong with that. That's how mine. I like looking good. Well, you just got to go buy yourself some black spray paint, man.
yeah, I've been looking at some videos of some guys doing that. I don't want to go nothing too overboard, but that's maybe doing like a light dusting or something like that.
Yeah,
like-
I mean that's the danger with those people go overboard.
That's how you weather it with the spray paint.
Yeah, it's like misting. Like you stand back like quite a way, like not like 20 feet, obviously, but you're not, don't get like death close to it, but like you're standing back like a couple feet, and you're kind of just like it's like real light dusting, and I've seen folks who end up looking like a toasted marshmallow when they overweather it, and you're just like, oh my god, no, please.
Caught right in the middle of the
Crushed
blast.
Oreo is my
yeah, like
Oreo.
that, and it's real. It's like a real fine line, and what do we say? Like less is more with the weathering,
Okay.
and it's
Yeah.
really just like a dusting. It's real easy sometimes to go over that sort of fulcrum point, and then suddenly you've toasted yourself, and you're like, oh boy, now I have to get all this, knock
Hard to
this down a little
backtrack
bit.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Adding more work.
yeah,
Yeah.
so be real conservative about it, because there wasn't really a ton of it on the if you look at the Scoutopedia, you can sort of see in the photos like it's really just like very dusty.
Now,
Is
is
go
the
ahead.
weathering required though for approval?
no,
Not.
Okay.
no, because in Return of the Jedi they were clean scouts,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
so
Good
it's
to know.
not a requirement. Now, in the Shore Troopers case, there were no clean Shore Troopers, so weathering is always required for those. It's just whether there's an on-screen version too.
Do you recommend a particular spray paint for that?
I'll tell you what I do, and I use a certain type of spray paint. This isn't mandatory, but I use it because it's got a finer nozzle on it. Is like I go to the hobby store, and that depends if you have a hobby store by you or you want to buy one from like Amazon or something. I get the Tamiya, which is like a model spray paint brand of like flat black spray paint, and it's got a really fine nozzle, and so it sprays out again in a very, very sort of misty effect. And when you buy the Krylon cans or the Rust-Oleum cans, I mean that's made for like painting,
Right, and that
like
just kind of
metal racking.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's not to say that you can't do it with Rust-Oleum, because you can, and I have. But it's a little bit easier to blast your armor with the Rust-Oleum and end up being like, getting into that moment, you're like, oh no, now I gotta take this down.
Yeah.
So I like the Tamiya stuff. It is a little bit pricier. You gotta get it from a hobby store or online.
Okay,
So
we have
you
a couple
personally
places.
may not want to go that way, but that's what I like.
I will say with the Tamiya though, wear a respirator. That stuff is toxic.
Yeah.
It's not like the hardware store spray paint. They
I
come in
appreciate
All
that.
spray paint vapor is not good for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, just in general, I have a respirator that I use. I go
Please.
outside. It's be safe.
Oh yeah, we would do it right outside the garage.
And the Tamiya, if I'm not mistaken, is a little bit more forgiving than the Rust-Oleum or the Krylons, to where I believe it's much more you can water it down, and then you're not going to water that down unless you're using an airbrush gun, but
Right.
you can use like Windex to, if you coat it on a little too much, I believe you can use a little bit of Windex, get in there, and it'll break it down, especially if you make a little bit of a mistake there.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah,
Worth the extra money.
I always keep a bottle of like 91% rubbing alcohol nearby, just in case there's any paint disasters. Just get it on there real quick, and
Yeah, I think we have a stock of that.
yeah.
Oh, you know what I bought? Oh, I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's stuff that they actually use for props, and it's a spray paint that looks like it's either like dirt or
Movie paints.
Dirty
yeah,
Dozen.
movie
Oh,
paint.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I have
then-
a bunch of them.
You like them? Are they pretty good for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the only thing with I mean, I live in Burbank, so all the movie studios are around me, and we have production supply houses everywhere. So if I want movie paints, I just drive up the street and buy some. They're great for weathering. However, they are made to be temporary, so they'll wash off, they'll rub off pretty easily. You know, I used them on my Shore Trooper when I was first doing it, but yeah, it is temporary.
So you go out and it's like a rainy troop, and you'll come back and it won't
Or if you
be-
brush up against it, you can smear them.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're made to be, you know, the studios, you know, they rent the props, spray them with movie paints, clean them off, return the props. You know, so
Can you clear coat them? Will it hold under a clear coat?
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I didn't want to clear coat my Shore Troopers, so
Well, you could matte coat it, but I mean, same idea. If you could put a coat on top. But I know we did it on the Mando Scout, the prop one, but I never coated it. It's just dirty, and if I brush up against
yeah.
it,
And you're talking about the one we did for Celebration?
yeah.
Yeah, I used with some of the stuff I gave you. I did have movie paints on it. Might be like the boots or something.
Yeah, the boots and I think some of the soft goods, like
Yeah,
to get that rusted look.
I did spray on whatever I gave to you. I had movie paints on it.
Okay.
Some of it did. With the Shore Trooper armor, with the Shore Trooper weathering, when I did it for level 2, I used like cheap brown, like acrylic paint, and I really just kind of brushed the details in, and then used a paper towel to kind of to dial them back.
That's the way.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like the black wash. I think the black wash looks terrible. I'm pretty sure Mr. Paul said they were not done that way for the film, and if he said it, I believe him, because he's the expert on this stuff. So just build up the weathering in the creases.
I wouldn't recommend clear coating the shore after weathering. I did for mine, and it completely knocked down the weathering. I had to redo the weathering after I clear coated it.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it, and it gives it like
It makes it look weird.
it makes it look weird. It gives it like a gloss, semi-gloss. Even if you go flat, it takes away from it. I feel like weathering on top of the actual paint is, and just leave it that way. It works out better, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, make it like if you coat over the weathering and the underlying paint, it makes everything sort of have the same sheen, and it starts to look like I mean, it's all fake, but like it starts to make all of it look fake. Like it's, weathering's supposed to look natural, like you've been getting dirt. These things have different shades to them. The underlying paint might be shinier, the weathering's more dull, and when you make it all the same color, it just looks like artificial.
Yeah, there's something about that, like those Montana paints that have like a magical quality that you don't really want to mess with too much.
My DLT is a lot of Montana.
All righty. Who else do we have on? I see. Let's see. Terry Moore is listening in. Shouldn't have anything better to do today than spy on us.
No, she just said I had to show her the dogs. That was her only request.
Oh, okay. Well, if anybody has any questions at all,
Did Mark or Jessica, do you guys have any other questions about the armor, the 3D parts?
I have a whole list if my microphone's finally working.
It is. Welcome.
Yeah,
Your camera's working too.
I've actually been here before. I was here, I think, back in 2021, but I wasn't ready to quite start my build yet. I have a Studio Creations kit, and then I have an Imperial Goods soft goods kit, and we haven't done anything with our helmets yet. We bought some cheap Black Series for May the 4th, but we know those won't pass muster, so I'm going to 3D print those later when we have more time.
Okay.
Part of my problem is I don't know if you guys have this problem. I have a big head, and like even my TK is sitting over here on the shelf. I have to like squash my TK a little bit and finagle it onto my head. And I have the same problem with the Scout Troopers that I've tried on, because I've tried on a couple of other people's costumes, and I can't get the helmet to work right. So I'm probably gonna. I know I looked at the CRL. I know there's little rules about scaling, but I'm probably gonna have to scale the helmet for myself a little bit. And I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
I have a big head too. I have like a 61 centimeter, 7 5/8, whatever. And I wear the RS Props helmet, and it fits fine. I can't wear my glasses in it, but the helmet has always fit well. If you look at the Scout helmets in the film, they are a little large, you know, compared to like the Trooper's body. The Studio Creations helmet runs small, so we definitely don't recommend those for people with small heads. What are the bigger ones? Crop Circle, Altman.
I've got a really long head, and the Altman fits me without my chin sticking out.
Right.
I've never assembled a helmet before. I bought an Onivos TK kit, and I know people have opinions about them. I had absolutely no issues with them. They were great.
I think they're great when you get the stuff.
Yeah.
The issue is always the receiving of the stuff.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I had
Takes a
no
lot of
problem
time.
with it. I placed the order. They told me when it was coming. It came exactly when it was supposed to. I understood the buying process when this was back in, I think, 2018 when I bought it.
Yeah.
So it's a little different then. But yeah, no, it worked out really well for me. But I bought it with an assembled helmet. I just had to put the kit together itself. And I don't really care about the TK kit. I never got it approved. It's something I've looked into over the years, but I've had trouble. I want to connect with local garrison members, and I've had trouble doing that. So I've never gone through that process, but I bought it as a test run anyway, because the Scout Trooper is the one that I cared about. And I thought, well, there's more work to do on the TK. So if I screw up everything on the TK, then I'll know what not to do when I go to build the Scout Trooper, and it'll be easier. So mine's sitting in the garage alongside all the 3D printed parts for hers right now. And we're going to go through the assembly process probably next weekend. Because I think we have all the supplies now, and we have all the parts printed for sure. It's just a matter of getting those layer lines sanded down. For her cosplay, I have a question, because I printed the back piece, I don't know what you call it, the actual backpack piece.
The hump.
Yes, and I printed that, but this one has etchings in it, and I was looking at the CRL today. Yeah, I see you shaking your head. I was looking at the CRL today. I think I have to print a smooth one, right?
Or fill them in.
Or fill
I mean,
them
if you use putty and you fill it in,
You have
that's
the
fine
wood.
too.
We can use the wood filler stuff.
And then do they get overlaid then with black vinyl? Is that what happens?
Yeah, all the stripes are black vinyl. That's right.
Okay. All right. That's
The
fine.
problem with a lot of these 3D models is that 3D modelers just go a little too far and do things that weren't in the movie. Or like in Galactic Armory, we know he pulls his files off of Battlefront and kind of modifies them. And the people that designed the characters for the games, had different requirements that they needed. So there's all these artifacts that come over when they're being translated to a 3D model, and they don't always meet our requirements because we just go by what was done on screen.
Yeah, that's actually what drew me over there, is because my two boys are asking me for Battlefront. They want specific characters from Battlefront, and so I'm like, okay, well, we'll figure out how to do that. Probably our next project, after we get the Pathfinder stuff approved, our next project probably going to be, we want to do 4 clone troopers. So we'll be running those off on the printers, but they need some repairs because I'm not a big fan of 3D printing. It's not my preferred way to do things. I have a couple more questions. I I bought all of my soft goods from Imperial Boots. I really like them. It's where I got my TK boots too. But my cummerbund came, and it is not square. It has like this curved part to it.
That's fine.
Does that? Yeah, that's fine. Does it go up or down?
Up.
Okay.
As far as I know, I believe the screen ones were made that way.
Another
We don't
problem.
require it to be made that way because you
Okay.
never see that hump. But I've seen Gino
Yeah.
Scout, and he made his cummerbund that way, and I'm assuming he did it because he saw it that way in the archives.
Yeah, we bought her a cummerbund off of a seller on Etsy, and that her cummerbund came square. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what to do with mine because mine doesn't match yours.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I have the T-bit piece that came with my Studio Creations kit, but it looks very small for the space.
It is a little.
I can hold it closer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not on, it's not attached. There's a good, probably half an inch of spacing all the way around.
Yeah, you probably want to scale that up another.
I didn't print it. It came with the kit, but I have the models for her, so I can run off a new T-bit at a higher size and just fit it in there.
Yeah.
But I should do that for approval. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be closer to the edge of that inlet.
That's what I thought from looking at the picture, the reference pictures. Okay.
Of course,
I
if
have-
you're GML, it's going to approve you, so they might not even look at it.
Did they change the T-bit during the last years? Because I have a
I
Studio
know because
Creations kit
everybody's
too.
got their hands on the models now, so I don't know if they did or not. Do you know, Corey?
Because mine seems
Sorry, Mark, a question. The T-bit that you're holding is the one from Studio Creations.
Yes.
The other piece that you're holding, is that also from Studio Creations,
Yes.
or is that a 3D print?
No, this is from Studio Creations.
Okay.
I kept all the stuff separate so that I would know what's hers and what's mine.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify.
No.
Yeah,
good question.
I do know that. I think it was last year, Jeff updated the grebes, at least the lower piece of the grebes for that. The when we found the original, figure out what the original part was from the like Honda model kit, but that top piece comes from the like a TIE Fighter micro model from like Vader's like TIE Fighter ship. I mean, that's been known for like a decade. So, I mean, the scaling on that should have stayed the same.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it wasn't right. And I'm wondering if the issue is just the cutaway on the bicep. All right.
Yeah, Aaron, that looks right.
Yeah.
That looks
keep
like
making all
what
that
mine looks
noise.
like.
All right, I will definitely run off a scaled up version of that then. I have to ask this question again, and I feel bad. Somebody was here. I think it was probably Justin. I think I was talking to last time, but I still don't understand this piece. And I have this piece and I have this piece, and I know what this is now. I know this goes on the boot, and I know how this more or less attaches. My question is, do I cut away any of this interior portion, or do I just want to know? Okay, I just want the slit.
It's cut the way it needs to be.
And then I have this piece that goes into it. This one has this lip right here, and this is supposed to stay as well because it seems a little difficult to kind of force the connection between these two with this extra lip piece on here.
If you get the fully assembled holster, like Jeff sometimes is able to like pop it in there, and it's just a little bit of extra security to help keep it in.
Mhm.
You don't need the lip, but
Okay.
if it's easier to get for you to get that piece slid into the slot without it, that's fine. Just know that you might have to put some glue on the inside or
Sure.
something like that to make sure it doesn't pop out again.
Sure, I tried it and it felt like the piece was going to crack when I was
Yeah,
going
don't
to
do
force
that.
it. And
Yeah,
I've
but
already,
you can trim that. That's fine.
I'm super lazy, so I sit in my TK suit and I've already cracked that in a couple of places, and I've had to reinforce it and then reseal it with the what do we call it? The putty stuff, the ABS. Like I make my own ABS putty with the acetone and everything. So I don't want to have to go through that. I don't want to have to go through that process again. The other question I have is I bought the jumpsuit, and the jumpsuit, I'm not holding it where you can see it. The jumpsuit has this strap down here around the leg.
Yeah.
What is this supposed to be here, and what is this for?
Yeah, it's supposed to be there.
Is it just a detail piece? I don't attach anything to it.
Well,
it's a legacy part
it's
for
yeah,
a piece of the costume that they ended up not going with.
yeah.
Okay.
And they originally had like thigh armor, and you could see it. I can post. Oh, what's up, Andre? There used to be like thigh armor, and those were meant to hold the thigh armor on, but it's just like a leftover part of the costume that wasn't fully implemented. I can find a photo of it if you're interested.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's on the Scoutopedia. We have, if you guys haven't, guys building scouts, if you have not been to the Scoutopedia yet, you should all check it out. We have all the production photos that we could get our hands on, and they're all in one handy place because of all our costumes. Scout's probably the trickiest when it comes to references because we pretty much just have the film, which is 42 years old at this point. So we really gathered up as many resources as we can and put them all in one place for y'all.
Yeah. So, Mickey, we've actually been following your build videos on YouTube.
Thank you.
Those are the ones that we've been kind of looking at, and that's led me to a question about the knees. You talked about the elastic strapping on the piece that's supposed to kind of hold it in place. Is that enough to make it stay in place? We don't need to do any Velcro on the flight suit or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of people do because they don't like their armor sliding around, you know, and you're perfectly within your right to do that. I don't really ever have a problem with my knees. I just kind of make sure that top strap is tight enough. Not too tight that it's cutting off my circulation, but tight enough that the thing just doesn't slide around.
Yeah, I've had trouble traditionally finding the middle ground between that. That's why I was asking.
And your kneecap, when the knees are worn the proper way, not like on the Mandalorian, but
yeah, I have seen all of that.
They will stay in place.
The other question I have about the T-bits, is there a T-bit on both arm pieces? Because what we do is before we start a cosplay, we go out, there's a swap meet out here by us that we go to that sells a bunch of nerdy stuff, and we buy a figure of whatever it is that we're building, so we have kind of something. And I know that's not the best way to do this always because those figures don't align with CRL. I've seen a lot of notes about that, but it's still useful to have something in our hand that we can kind of turn around and look at and reference, especially when there's not always good visuals of like the backsides of costumes. We just did a whole Lord of the Rings cosplay for the whole household, and it was really helpful to have that figure in our hand. And some of the figures I've seen do not have the T-bit on both arms, and that's why I'm asking.
You should have the T-bit on both arms.
Both arms, and at this point, it's the same T-bit on both arms. It's not mirrored anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That was one of the discoveries that was made within the last few years.
Yeah, the files that we got from the Galactic Armory only had one T-bit, and it was the left T-bit, and it didn't specify. And there's, Galactic Armory is great. I like their models; they're fine, but they don't have build threads where you can go through and see how they actually put everything together. So it's not always the best way to do things.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he only gave you a left T-bit because that's the only one you need.
Okay.
You just print it twice.
Yeah, which is what I did for her. And I'm putting a second set together in the garage that I 3D printed off of her stuff too, so that she's not going through it alone, and I'm not over here with my finished studio creations and good stuff, and she's over here struggling by herself. Okay, the armor shoulder biceps on my TK Trooper, right? I have the shoulder bell, and the shoulder bell attaches to, I don't know what it's called, the upper arm piece. And then that also attaches to the lower piece, all three of them in a line together. Is that also how the Scout Trooper goes together? No. Okay.
No, those pieces slide, roll, spin. Okay. If you look at the movie, those bits of armor slide around all over. They're not secured together.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put some.
I'm sorry.
You can put some Velcro down. Like I do that for the bicep and the forearm, just because it makes it so you don't have to have too tight an elastic, but also it just sort of, it just gets annoying sometimes when these things start sliding around. So it just sticks and you forget about it.
Yeah.
And it's fine. The only thing I would suggest is make sure you do if you want to, the shoulder thing that we do, that sort of like the Lord of the Lancer level one, that's really a better way to do it because I know sometimes people will put Velcro, like I've done that in the past, and it's okay. But then, if you start getting a little wingy like that, it can pop off if that's the only thing that's holding it. So, and that attachment is really, it's functional, but it's correct. So that's one way you can do it.
Yeah.
All right. That was it for my questions. Sorry for the long list.
No, that's okay. That's what we're here for.
In the chat I posted, I was one of the people who used a lot of Velcro when they were, when I was putting together my costume, and I posted in the thread something I wrote many years ago about putting Velcro to hold the bicep parts on and the knees and the forearms, and it never moves when I put it all on, and my knees don't drop down and my biceps stay where they are, and but that's up to you. For what you take from that is what you find convenient for your own build.
We crash built a Mandalorian cosplay the last time. I don't remember what year it was. When Star Wars Celebration was here in Anaheim, we crash built a Mandalorian cosplay, and we hand stitched a bunch of Velcro. We got the industrial sticky back stuff, but that's not going to last. So we hand stitched a bunch of Velcro onto the undersuit for all of the armor pieces to attach to. So we know how to do it. It's just a function of, do you guys recommend it? And it sounds like it just depends on what you want and how much you want the armor to slide around, which for me is not a lot.
It worked for me. Mine doesn't go anywhere. I'm
Yeah, it's a very common thing to do. You just want to make sure that your Velcro patches aren't visible from under the armor, because that would not pass L2.
Ultimately, you got to wear this stuff. It's got to be comfortable. Like, it's one thing to build for CRL, but you got to be comfortable in it. Otherwise, you're never going to want a troop.
That's why I want the Scout Trooper instead of the TK, because like my TK is not, I can wear it for maybe an hour, and I built it on my own. I wasn't connected to anybody in the 501st. Wasn't following a build thread or anything. I built the whole thing on my own. So I don't have things like there's cutouts you can do in the back of the knees or whatever to make it easier to walk. I don't have that. My thigh armor cuts in. It's a mess. I'll probably get a new kit and just rebuild the whole thing and just junk the one I have at some point.
I can do 8-hour troops in my Scout, no problem. You get hot, but it's comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
The pouches. How do I fill those out appropriately so that they're the right shape and the right size?
Foam, cardboard. I think Mr. Justin has. Don't you have like printed inserts you can use as well?
Yeah, it'll leave the pocket usable. So you can put a speaker, cell phone, whatever.
Yeah, I use foam.
Yeah.
Foam boxes, and I cut an indent into them so I can still put trading cards and stuff inside my pouches.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I'm going to get some more calf. I'll be right back.
So, Mark, you said you did a lot of 3D printing for the stuff, and you're going to sit there and get all the lines out and whatnot. One thing I learned, and this was actually, I went to a Mando Merc build party about 2 weeks ago, and I've done the Bondo in the past. But a buddy of mine, he was showing me this it's not a trick, and people know it, but I didn't know it. So just an FYI, he's actually taking some of that Bondo putty and mixing it in a jar with acetone, get it real nice and liquidy, and then use like a little the stick with the sponge on the end that you can use to paint.
Don't we use that?
Literally just all over everything nicely. It coats on really well. You can do a couple layers if needed, and it saves you a lot of Bondo, and it saves a lot of time too. He's like, after just like a pass or two on some of his stuff, it's almost like there's no sanding needed, but of course there's a little bit. But that was just a little trick I had picked up for print lines.
So last year when we found out that War of the Rohirrim was coming out, we decided in January we were going to build 4 Rohan armor sets with, real leather and chainmail and all the right fabrics. And we 3D printed the helmets for those. And we tried that technique on one of the helmets, and it did not. I don't know what we were doing wrong. I bought a whole thing of wood putty. We mixed it. We watched it online. There's a girl we were watching on YouTube who's like, do this, mix these ratios.
You couldn't stand off.
Yeah, it was nothing but trouble for us to get. We
That was
used the
horrible.
helmet eventually, but it took us forever to actually get it. It took us longer than what we're doing now is we're using automotive filler primer.
Yeah,
And
yep.
Which is pretty common, in this
Much
lots of
easier.
people use that. And we will do that, 5 or 6 times and sand in between with, lighter and lighter grits of sandpaper. And that's working for us. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's just a little bit of time, and like we're working on it together. So we just, sit outside and have a nice night of it.
Yeah.
Two things. One, what are you printing in? What material?
PLA.
I would suggest if you're going to print armor pieces, PLA plus at the very minimum. Otherwise, PETG or ABS. PLA has a tendency to warp in the sun at even like 80 degrees.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll start to get a little
I
funky.
think we might have had that issue.
The other thing you can do for smoothing is if you get UV resin, you can take UV resin and baby powder and mix them together, and it makes essentially filler paste. Just make sure you do this in a plate. Don't do this outside, because the
UV
second
resin
you
and
break out
baby
that
powder?
resin, it's going to start to harden. And again, with the sponge, you can coat your pieces pretty thinly, and then you just sit them out in the sun for 15 minutes, and that resin will solidify, and you can just easily sand it down.
We might try that, because I have a Creality Halite resin printer that's, we use it for like D&D miniatures and things like that. So it's good for the small stuff. I might try and run some of these detailed, like the T-bits. I might try and run the T-bits on there, because it's also a little faster. And I get higher resolution out of those prints, so it'll look a little. The ones that I have here do not actually look that nice. So I don't mind reprinting them, but we might try using some of that resin. That's a good suggestion.
There's also an XTC 3D. I don't know if you've ever used that. Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's not something you want to use on things that have details and small details on like a shoulder bell or something like that, where it's just the one shape, great, perfect. But on T-bits, you wouldn't want to use that. You'd lose everything.
We know about the warping issues, so like we're real careful about making sure our stuff doesn't sit out like in the sun or in the heat. Like usually for Free Comic Book Day, we go out to lunch, we'll bring laundry baskets, and if we take the armor off, we pack it up and bring it in out of the car with us, because we know how hot it gets in the car. So we're pretty careful with our stuff.
Yeah, we're in Southern California, so I mean, 90% of the year, everything gets so hot that like you can't go out in it.
Yeah, and it's also made for issues, because like we can't really use. I've seen people using power sanders on their stuff, and I'm like, if I do that, the armor heats up so much that the PLA melts. It's great when I have to deal with a seam issue, and I can just kind of melt the seams together and then sand it down, which I've done before. But it's not so great if you want something a little more permanent. We may end up buying her a kit to finish her Scout Trooper later, instead of going with the 3D printed stuff. But I wanted to at least try it. I bought 2 Anycubic Max 2s so that I would have the size to be able to print like a full chess piece in a single print on the printer without seams. And it's actually worked, which is rare. I'm not a 3D printer hobby enthusiast, so this is not my favorite part of the process, but it's worked, and it's been pretty cool to see that come together.
Yeah, that's good. 3D printing is a love-hate relationship for sure.
It's definitely a process.
I've definitely done a lot less of it than I had years ago.
I still have your printer sitting in my garage.
I can come get it if you don't need it.
I don't use it. I have another Prusa too, that the board is dead, and if I could find somebody that wants to take it and replace the board, they could have it for free.
I have a spot for that giant printer now, so I can take it off your hands if you're not using it.
No, yeah, you can use the BL Touch that I put in that I could never get to work right for me. So I have it.
Cool. All right, who else is on?
Well, because I just saw the riot button in the background at Justin's office, I do have a question, because I have another long time project just started the Jedi Fallen Order Scout, and I started with the button because I thought, well, this is the easiest part. But what do you use what's the best technique for keeping the stuff extended?
I used. Let me see if I can even show it on camera. I had to make a custom little piece of PVC on the end of the staff. See if I can tell this out. I wonder if I can get it out. So I have a. Let me see if I can find the spot. Good Lord. Sorry, it's been a couple of years. There's a little key pin, like a little hex, like screw that's got no head on it. That basically sits inside here and goes into the tube, and this end piece has like a locking mechanism, a piece of PVC that's got little notches. So when I pull it out, I pull it and then twist it, and it locks in place. So
Okay,
it won't go in.
Like
and
a bayonet. I don't know the word. Yeah, but I know what you mean. So twist it and it locks.
Yeah, I think there's a picture of it on one of my build threads, and I'll see if I can dig it up, and I'll put the link in. But yeah, there was no good way to do it other than that weird kind of like locking mechanism, that PVC thing. Somebody else, I think, tried to do a magnetic lock or spring load the thing, but I could never find a good way to do it myself.
Yeah, someone in my garrison used a mechanism for an umbrella.
Ah.
Oh,
So
neat.
just pushing the button and it extends.
That's cool.
And I think Dennis uses Velcro, I guess, but I'm not so sure about the Velcro thing.
Velcro is great until it starts to give, and then it just becomes totally useless.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So you don't have any fancy automatic extending thing.
No, I just pull it out with my hand and then I lock it in place, and then I don't touch it for the rest of the troop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
like,
I think that's the easiest way.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. There's all these buttons and like places that you could easily make a spring-loaded trigger that would pop it out. I was designing this thing and got to a certain point where I was like, I'm done looking at this project and I just need to get it done. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, but it was really hard to get a fitting pipe in Germany because everything is metric. So getting the imperial sized pipe was a pain in the. So this is from a pool supplier, and that it has a thread at the end, so I can just screw the end cap on it, which is nice because I want to add some electronics inside. So if I want to get access to the electronic, I just need to screw it on and off, which is nice. But I think the thing with the locking mechanism, I think that would be the easiest way, I guess.
Yeah, I'll dig this up for you and have something better to show you than just trying to ramble on about it.
I think there are only 2 or 3 other JFO scouts in the German garrison, so there are not many, but it's always fun with them.
That's more than I thought in general. Like, there's just not a lot of them. I think people build them and don't, like, you kind of hear about some, but people don't advertise it as much as, say, like a shore trooper or a Return of the Jedi scout.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're taking a costume that's, flexible, easy to sit down in, and easy to get about, and then you're like making it less so.
Yeah.
And people probably
it depends on the troop, where sometimes there are a lot of Jedis from our sister garrison from the Rebel Legion. So this is fun if there are many Jedi, so you can do a little fighting.
Yeah, it's fun to have the staff to like play with people.
Let me see. I can tell you how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like we have 15 current JFOs.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And Justin, as far as I can tell, you were the only one in Southern California. So
Yeah, it's lonely. I think I've only worn this thing 3 or 4 times to a troop because it takes a bit of getting dressed. You need help getting that harness on and getting everything situated.
looks like in Germany there's only one.
Yeah, maybe one in the garrison, but there are 2 others who were at some troops.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
I
they're
saw
there.
their pictures online, and I asked them for their IDs, and they said they weren't 501st, I think,
There, I found the link. It's in the chat.
or it was unapproved, something like that. Because we were going to post it on our social media, and then they were like, "Well, we're not approved, or we're not 501st, or something." They just like made them.
Yeah, I've already made this little party for the Velcro thing, so maybe I just can use this for the locking mechanism. So, perfect.
I like that umbrella idea, though. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only approved JFO Scout is the one with the umbrella.
The umbrella? That's
Yeah.
clever. I like that.
Oh, there it is. I finally found the spot. So you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one there, and then there's another one on the other side, and basically those just screw because this piece right here is the pipe. It's the exposed pipe, and so I just drilled a hole.
This one here, which is painted black. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then threaded it, and basically just figured out how tight this needed to be, and since I can adjust it since it's right there. Yeah, and it's a small enough little piece that nobody even sees that it's there. So.
Our GMO will see it. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Let's see. I see we've got Mike has decided to join us. Where are you, Mike?
Can you see me? I'm right here.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late. It was record store day and it was competing. I had to get some exclusive record releases today. So here I am. I'm here to answer
that, Corey.
Anything that relates to shore trooper stuff. I'm here.
We had I don't know if Darcy's still on the line. He had some questions. I think we answered most of them though.
Yeah, I'm still here. I mean, there's some more that I just thought of when I was thinking of it. Something else that came to mind was again, try to do my research on the forums and watching you guys' videos and stuff. But something that I had trouble really finding was the hip pieces. I know, as far as I'm aware, everyone seems to make their own hip pieces, and I try to figure out, like, is there a template, or you guys just eyeball it, or because it comes out good, and I'm like, it's
there
like perfect.
Let me can you share files on here, Justin?
I don't know.
If not, I could probably email it to you, Darcy. There was a template that somebody made back in 2016.
Yeah.
That was what everybody kind of used for a while. And then I adjusted it because I didn't think it was very accurate. So I can pass that on to you. What I suggest is you print it out on paper first. Get a couple sheets of paper, run it through your printer, tape it together, and actually wear it, and make sure that it that it fits you right, and you don't have to like size it up, size it down. And then a lot of us here in the U.S., since the Plastizote's a little hard to get a hold of because I think it's only in England.
Yeah.
A lot of us use neoprene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did neoprene for my first hip armor, but I eventually ended up getting Mr. Paul's hip armor, which is made from the Plastizote.
I did the same. I started to build my own and then scrapped it and just ended up getting Mr. Paul's as well.
Yeah, somebody was selling theirs used, and they had already brought it over to the U.S., so I didn't get killed on the shipping.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can find my template, and I will get it to you somehow.
I'll look too, Mickey. I've got it somewhere, but it's very deep, so I've got to see if I can find it.
It was like Sean something. I can't remember what
Was
his name.
was it Fields?
No. This was like Sean Trooper. It's a different guy. And I just took his template and I modified it because like I said, I didn't think it was like accurate enough. And people that made the hip armor off of his template, they all had the same problem where it was kind of bowing out on the sides. And it's just because he didn't get the proportions, quite right.
Okay.
So I like took screenshots of shore troopers and then blew them up and then kind of traced my template off of that to get the dimensions a little closer. And I know I posted it up in places. I just not sure where right now, but I'll find it.
Okay. And to get your finish that y'all have, because it very much matches the armor. Is that like a heat sealed and plastic dip and then painted, or is there a different method?
Mine is just the Sahara beige. I didn't do anything else.
Oh, just right on it?
Weathering. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking specifically on the hip armor or just in general?
Just the hip armor.
Yeah. Sahara beige right over the top.
Yeah, it's all the same as the you're talking about for the foam itself?
Yeah, because I don't have too much experience with neoprene, as you said. I use a lot of like EVA foam to make certain armors and stuff like that.
With EVA foam, it helps to hit it with a heat gun to kind of seal up the cells on it before you paint it. You could try that with the neoprene too and see if it it helps it.
Okay. Do you put a plastic dip base or anything?
I don't think I did plastic dip on my hip armor.
I did not.
I don't think so, because that usually leaves like a texture, doesn't it? And it didn't look like you can, if you look at the screen used, you can kind of see where the paint and the foam have started to like kind of crack and
come off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't want to make it look too perfect. I think a lot of people with the shore trooper, they give it this like auto quality paint job, and it's like, okay, great, you did all that, but now you have to weather the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, just do a crappy job painting it to start with.
Yeah, then you're halfway there.
Like don't worry about if it's not a perfect finish on the paint job, because then you got to break it down. So where it's faded and faint a little bit in spots, or it's rubbed down, it's okay. It's going to look good once you do the weathering.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I found that file. So I have a PDF file of it, and I will see if I can. I don't know if I can share it here or not, so I might have to email it to you.
All right.
I mean, the thing you can do is either dump it in like Google Drive and then throw a link on there. That'll work, but there's no direct file share. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. That's a good idea. And yeah, any other questions? Go ahead.
I got it's like an A/B question, but for the shore trooper again, when I was thinking about the paint for the squad leader, for example, he has the helmet symbol and the chest symbol, the U. I assume those have to be painted. They're not like decaled.
You can do a decal. I painted mine on. I just I can also dig up somewhere. I think I had the actual dimensions of that chest U. If I can find those, I'll share it in here.
Okay, like a stencil, I guess.
Yeah, so what I did for both of those is I actually took my Cricut and I found the image, and I put painter's tape on my Cricut pad and had it cut that at the right dimensions, and then just put that over, so it made it easy to just paint it right on. I did that for both my helmet logo and my squad leader, the yellow U you're talking about. Okay. So I can find the dimensions. Do you have access to like a Cricut? If you don't, you can cut it out of painter's tape.
I mean, I could just go buy one, but Yeah, I don't have one yet.
Well, right now's a good time at Joann's because everything is
Yeah.
super marked down because they're going out of business. Go get yourself a Cricut.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there
everything's
was-
like 60%
Yeah.
off because they're all going out of business.
yeah, I was looking at them before for a different build. I ended up doing it by hand, which took forever. But I now that I'm like still looking for one, I might as well check it out. Just for future stuff. I guess the part B to that was also as well with either the captain or even the shore trooper, the squad leader. The paints are like at a certain level and stuff. So I was trying to look on the CRLs, like, is there like a measurement? Like I'm supposed to, like, 2 inches down, and then, I didn't know if there was a measurement for where to paint the lines at as well.
Yeah, there are specific dimensions. I'm making a list of all these things that I'm gonna share with you when I find them. I don't
It's
have them
tough
at my
to put
fingertips.
some of that stuff into the CRL though, because you get troopers of all different shapes and sizes,
Right.
and so we have to have enough flexibility to account for our tallest troopers and our smallest troopers. A lot of that stuff, it's just you eyeball it, you get it, as close as you can, and if you're not wildly off, you'll be fine. No one's gonna, get a tape measure and but we do kind of have to have some flexibility for, different types of troopers, because
Yeah, that's a good point.
anybody can build any costume. Doesn't matter if you're 6'8" or 4'8",
Absolutely.
Let's see. I got that template loaded. I'm gonna share the link in the chat. Okay. That should be it. And that's a PDF of the hip armor template. Like I said, print it out on paper first, assemble it, with paper and tape, and just size it to yourself. You might have to do it a couple times until you get like the right fit for you.
Right.
And then, yeah, you get a sheet of neoprene from Amazon. I don't know how much it is now. When I got it a couple of years ago, it was fairly cheap. And you just lay the template out and cut it out.
Okay,
And then you'll need to get some. Some ABS sheets. You can go to a hardware store and buy some like for rent signs, or what, as long as they're like plastic and not paper, and just use that to make the actual plastic sheets that you glue to the hip armor.
That's the top. That'll be what you paint the Sierra beige.
Well, you're painting the whole thing, including
Whole thing.
your bits of foam that show,
Mhm.
because the plate doesn't cover the entire foam piece. It just, there's portions of it, and you'll see when you see the template, you'll see them on there. But yeah, you just get some, like, go to a hardware store and get some ABS signs, some for rent signs, no smoking signs, whatever they have.
Mhm.
Cut them out to fit the thing and paint them.
Yeah, I'm looking on Amazon right now. Neoprene still seems to be fairly inexpensive.
Okay.
And that works.
You can get a 5-foot roll of it for $20.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
that's about right. Neoprene's a little stinky.
Yeah.
It smelled like rubber for quite a few days until it goes away. But
I did went ahead and downloaded.
and you'll need
Google Drive.
need some extra pieces of neoprene from that roll for your chest and on the sides.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I guess that's good. I could use the same material for
Yeah,
that.
you'll want to use the same material. Yeah.
Okay. I definitely
Is
would.
there a thickness difference though in the neoprene you use along the chest versus what you would use for the skirt?
I don't think so.
I did not. I used
Okay.
It's like a quarter inch, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Hmm.
I don't believe so, Corey. I mean, if there is,
If there is, nobody's looking at it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just curious.
I'm sure Mr. Paul would have written an entire essay on
I'm
it.
sure that's a good point.
if that were the case. So, I mean, I do kind of keep an eye on Shore Trooper Fam, you know, to see what the latest discoveries are, and also to make sure people aren't going off in the wrong direction. So,
I was just thinking, you go on a troop and someone just like busts out a measuring tape. Is like,
no, nobody.
Now, if you got anybody doing that to you on a troop, then
Change garrison.
Yeah,
Move. Which garrison are you in, by the way, Darcy?
Tyrannus garrison.
Oh, okay, you're not too far from Corey then.
Yeah, you're right next to. I'm in Old Line, so I'm right next door. And then of course Joe is also from Tyrannus. So
Yeah.
Joe took off though.
yeah.
Which part of Virginia are you, Darcy?
Ashburn.
Oh, okay.
Dulles, Ashburn area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys might run into each other.
Yeah, come to Aaron Scare and get approved and come to Aaron Scare in October, and I'll definitely be there.
Corey, is Aaron Scare Smithsonian?
What's that?
Is that the Smithsonian troop?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Carita, so
Oh, okay.
not too far from you. And
Right
a
on.
lot of our folks went to that one. It looks great.
It is. It's like the best troop of the year.
Awesome. Bringing folks together. That's what we do.
Yeah,
I'm from Maryland originally, so I know the area, but I've lived here in Southern California for 20 years now, so I ain't coming back.
Except for the crab cakes.
No, I get them mailed. I'll get the crab cakes mailed to me, hon. I say, send me them crab cakes in a case of Daddy Bo, okay? Where's Jake? I saw Jake on. Did he disappear?
Yeah, he had to go.
Okay. I mean, nobody has any cashy questions, I don't think so.
That's okay. We won't badmouth him too much.
We are in the middle of finally switching out the CRL photos for the Kashyyyk Trooper. We got Chris, the prop guy, has finally, he's finished his Kashyyyk. He's done what we've asked him to, and he has sent us a bunch of photos. So those old photos we have on the CRL that are not correct are finally going to get switched out.
Are we still hoping to get the suit up video? Is there anybody that
I've asked Jake to do it since he comes out to.
Oh yeah, you guys needed to schedule that with me. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I don't know when he's going to be able to come out and how that's going to line up with your schedule. So,
okay.
But there's nobody else. The only Kashyyyk we have in the garrison is Scott Diebold, and he's never really been a detachment guy.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of hard to get a hold of. It'd be nice for it to be Jake since he is the DCA for the Kashyyyk.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll talk to him about it again and see if he's got any future plans.
Okay. Plus, I don't know. I haven't seen Scott's costume in a while. I don't know if his has the same issues that we're trying to ameliorate, like the zebra striped cummerbund, which became a thing for some reason, and then the left arm greebly, the one on the CRL, it's like it's at 90 degrees from where it should be.
Yeah.
No idea how or why that happened. This was all before my time. So, but but yeah, we got our new photos as soon as we are able to switch them out. You know, a lot of you might know that the wiki is being migrated, and I see Chris Kobus is on the line, and he's, you know, he's the LMO king, so he can definitely answer any questions about that. But I think that concludes our Kashyyyk portion of the virtual armor party. I don't know if anybody else has any questions about that costume. Nope.
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, please, I mean, if you got a question, ask, because even if you are afraid to ask the question, somebody else might be like, I hope somebody asks this question because I'm too scared to ask. Or we can all just sit here and stare at each other. I don't care.
All right, I got one. So the only thing right now that's sort of holding me back from applying for Lancer is on my blight suit. The leather. I decided when I first got this to save a few bucks, and I went with the faux leather. So I know that needs to be or the faux suede. I'm sorry. I know that's got to be switched out. I am no good with sewing. We have a few folks in the garrison that are. Recommendation just to remove what's on there and get some actual suede and put that on there, or
well, you go to Tandy Leather and you get yourself a roll of pig suede.
Yeah.
I think that's what every single one of us has done.
Well, which one is it? It's from Tandy, right? You said?
Tandy Leather. And you get yourself a nice roll of pig suede. It's not that expensive.
It's mostly hand stitched though. Like it's not hard to do. It's just time consuming, and
yeah,
you just got to get in there and kind of hold it in place and do it. You can't get it on a machine very easily.
No, unless you slice the leg open, which is what some people do. But since your suit's already done, you probably don't need to do that. Because a lot of people, if they get the coveralls, right? Coveralls tend to be slightly too baggy. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. You slice the leg open down the side to flatten it out to do the suede patches. And then when you sew the leg back up, you bring it in a little bit so it's not quite so baggy anymore. But if you've already got a working flight suit, bagginess probably isn't an issue.
Wow.
In that case, like Justin was saying, hand sewing it on might be your best bet.
And that's going to be the butt flap too, right?
Yeah, the butt flap needs to be real suede as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, the positive thing is, you know, if the patches look good with the faux suede, you already have the template when you take the faux suede off.
Right.
So you don't have to experiment so much with like trying to figure out the right shape and stuff like that. You could take the old patches, throw them on the leather, on the suede, and just trace them in pencil, and that's your new pattern. So that's good. I've seen people use one, if you're going to hand stitch it, get a thimble for your thumb, because punching through leather like a bazillion times, your thumb is going to be like screaming at you.
Yeah.
Same thing if you're hand stitching Velcro or something like that, like your fingers will just be dying. Get a metal thimble. I've also seen people use like the what is it, like bias tape or something like that, and they basically use like the heat sealing tape underneath their suede, and it kind of holds it, you know, once it melts, it like holds it in place, and that lets you, you know, so it's not constantly moving when you're stitching it up. I think if you remember Indiana Jones Alex, I think when he was a scout, Mickey, he did that when he switched out his riding patches.
Oh, okay.
I think it worked well. So
Sure.
Those are some options for you, but definitely get a thimble.
Well, if it's done, if you can do it, just do it by hand, then that's definitely a little bit easier for me. But
yeah,
and yeah, you're absolutely right with it fitting the way it is. I can just sort of put it out and put it on the actual stuff. That'll make it a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, if it's already fitted to you, I wouldn't go through the extreme measure of slicing the leg back open. You know, because if you put it, it might not fit as well as it did before.
Cool.
Honestly, drafting that pattern is the hardest part. So like if you're pulling the old ones off, that's really like 90% of the work.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, I was going to add the Avericks flight suits that they used for the film. They did not have an outer seam, so that wasn't how they did them in the film. That's just something that happens with the coveralls. Those coveralls happen to have outer seams on the legs.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's the worst part of the build probably, but it's not that bad.
There's quite a few scouts who have updated flight suits and don't have riding patches because they get to that point and they're just like, well, I'm already approved, so
Yeah, I
and
know.
it's not great, but it's just true.
Yeah, and if you're in a garrison that's not like heavily policed by higher ups, then you can get away with it.
Or
But
people switch to the Mando Scout because they can just use the flight suit.
yeah.
Just switch to the JFO. It doesn't have a flight patch or riding patches either.
I think I might. I would, Justin. I was thinking about changing the CRL for level 1 on that, and just allowing a regular ROTJ flight suit for that costume.
That's fine. I mean,
just to make it a little easier for people. Like
I can tell you, after I made the CRL, like after we did that, I put patches on it and turned into my regular Scout. So I can't even do my JFO without the riding patches.
Yeah, I mean, I think for level 1, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
that's something I was thinking about.
Yeah, because I mean, there's that JFO is not very convertible to the normal Scout, anyways. So
yeah, because you still have to have the crazy cummerbund.
Yeah, and things like the biceps don't have straps on them, and there's all sorts of pieces. It's just it looks the same from far away, but the closer you get, the more you realize it is a totally different costume.
Yeah, some of those details we could probably just hold into level 2.
Yeah, anything we can get to get more people to do it, that's totally fine with
Yeah, because there's only 15 people with it, and really the biggest difficulty is getting all the accessories.
Yeah, we can talk, because I'm open to changing a bunch of those things so that they're more in line with the normal.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. But again, we can work on that after the wiki or the CRL library gets migrated to its new home.
Which we're at 5%.
There he is. Hey, Chris.
Yep. Hi. Yeah, that's just touch on that one. The new system is 85% complete, so we're getting there.
Okay, we have our list of corrections. Whenever you guys need it, we have it.
Yeah, fire them over to Nina or Carrie, and then hopefully they can get them in before it goes live.
Okay, cool. I don't believe it was a lot of stuff. It was mostly like bullets and a couple photos were.
I think it was mostly like formatting, and some of the photos were scaling strangely. I think that's where most of it was.
Yeah, it wasn't huge things. Can't hear you, Chris. You're muted.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm in the car. I'm not driving, obviously.
I hope not.
So it's like I'm on the what's known as it's one of the worst motorways in London. It's the orbital motorway.
Oh.
It's 6:30 on a Saturday evening, and it's full of idiots. So I'm muted just in case I end up saying something that I don't want to hear.
Justin,
so,
Justin, you are recording this, right? Just in case.
We'll save it for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Vicky says I have the, for a non-driver, I have the worst road rage on the planet. So I do. I literally, if someone cuts us up, I will literally reach over and hit the horn. No, I'm terrible, but yeah. So I mean, the new system's it's looking good, and we're really looking forward to it going live.
Yeah, same. The wiki was getting pretty rough.
Oh yeah, I mean, even I, it got to the point where I was the only person that was able to log in, and then it got to the point where even I couldn't do that. So it definitely needed to be done.
Awesome. I mean, you guys, Corey, you've seen it. Justin, you've seen it, right? You guys, when you were reviewing the CRLs, so it's very clean. Looks nice. All right. Who else? Anybody else got questions?
Any more short questions?
I mean, I got about one or two more.
Go. Let's hear them, dude. Let's hear them.
So I seen with the colors. I know there was specifically for the red and the blue. So the red is like a Toyota red, and the blue is like a Ford Nodric blue. Is there like I did see people like they blended it or made it or it was kind of hard to find. So I didn't know if there was like a specific brand.
You have the Imperial Surplus kit, right?
Yeah.
Did you already get it?
No, I have not received it yet.
Okay. I don't know if he still does or not, but when I got my kit from him, and this was in 2018, I think, Kevin, through his contacts, was able to get a paint chip of Ford Nordic Blue from England mailed to him.
I have a chip as well, but I probably could cut it in half and send it if you need it. I got it from Mr. Paul, so I have one as well. But I also
was able to make his own paints, and you can buy a can of paint from Kevin. That's what I did. I still have it.
Okay.
So
I think I have some too. And if we're in the States, I don't plan on doing another squad leader, so I might be able to ship it to you. But I actually got it. I'm trying to find where I got it paint matched. There was a place that I ordered from 2 different places that offered paint match for that Nordic Blue. I got 2. One of them was totally off, and the other one was spot on with the sample swatch that Mr. Paul sent me. So if you find me on Facebook and friend me, I'll message you all that information as I get it. I'm going to give you the dimension stuff you asked about, and I'll give you the links to where I got it. Was like a $20 paint match can, and it came really fast, and it was spot on.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like to, in the States, since we don't have access to those UK paints, they'll use like the Montana Himalaya blue, and I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it looks quite right. So I would suggest doing what Mike says, and let's get a paint match stirred up. And like I said, I would start with Imperial Circle if he has any cans left.
Okay, I could reach out to him. Yeah. And the Montana Black Sierra Beige, is that okay to use, or I still need to use something else?
You need the Montana Beige,
yeah.
All right.
You're gonna need like 3 or 4 cans of it.
Yeah, I figured.
At least,
Buy a case of it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have to paint the helmet too, you're gonna need a lot.
Yeah, my can of that paint is outside. I'll share all that with you, Darcy. Sorry I don't have it at my fingertips, but I'm making notes of everything you're asking, and I'm going to send it to you once you hit me up on Messenger.
Okay, that definitely works. I would definitely
the Toyota
appreciate
Red
that.
is easy to get. I got that off Amazon. It's just
me too.
We have a link to it in that vendor list that I posted earlier.
Oh, that's a good point, Mickey. I have my little that conversion build I did. I think I have links to that paint map.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'll dig all that up for you. Sorry I don't have it right at my fingertips to share in this chat, but I'll definitely get it all to you.
But
Hey,
Darcy,
as long as I eventually get it.
start with Kevin and see if he just has any of those paints left, and he can just throw it in the box with your kit. I mean, that's what he
Right.
did for me. And I still have some of that blue paint left from, I mean, Christ, it's been like,
Yeah, you barely use any of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I used it for my daughter's short trooper costume,
Yeah.
and I made hers. You know, I still had plenty.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably easier for me to just like stick with the grunt, but I just like the blue on there as well.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
yeah. So
But
I
you
just
also
figured-
have the Andor version that has a different blue that's a little easier to get a hold of.
Right back there.
There's, you know, we got a lot of different colors.
Oh, back to okay. Oh, so I didn't realize. So the blues are not all the same.
The
with all
Andor one's
versions.
much paler.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I have to look at that version because I assume, as far as besides the color shade, or maybe the belt's different as well from the Mandalorian and the Andor version. I think the belt's different.
The configuration of the belt boxes is a little bit different because the Andor version, you've got your sidearm, so you've got to pull a couple of those belt boxes off.
Okay.
And it's a little bit different than the grunt. You don't have the long hanging boxes on both sides of it.
But then you get to wear that cool pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little 11 shorty. Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff.
So speaking of weapons, you made me think of something as well. I'm currently 3D printing a E22 blaster. Now the files I had was Galactic Armory. Is that okay, or should I find a different file for the blasters? Because I know you mentioned he usually represents this stuff after the games.
I don't know. I have not encountered that one yet. Have you, Mike?
I have not. I know that I believe the most accurate files out there right now are the Helvio. What does he go by on Thingiverse?
Right. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So I don't know how far along you are on printing, but if you're not too far along to shift gears, I will also send you a link to a set of free files, which are about as accurate as you're going to get.
I found it.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm working off. So my problem is I'm working off my work computer right now, and it blocks access to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
so I don't have it to grab and throw in this.
It's right here. I just posted it in there.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Yep, those are the files you want to use if you're going to print it. Those are the best ones.
He's
doing a lot of research
from Stu's Short Trooper Shack, and Stu is one of the admins of Short Trooper Fam. So there's a lot of 3D files, a lot of resources there.
I agree.
But I mean, I know you can 3D print armor these days, but I just feel like the ABS takes the most punishment. It's the easiest to troop with, and I have the Imperial surplus kit.
You're stabbing me in the heart there, Mickey. I'm 3D printed.
Justin has 3D printed lots of sets of armor, and I think he agrees with me on this point.
I love the detail you get, but they can be fragile. My patrol trooper, I think it was like my second troop. After I was getting suited down, I dropped my back and I cracked one of the shoulder pieces off and had to re-weld it in place. Like, they're just more fragile, but they look really good.
They do. With the Short Trooper, if you break something and repair it, it's just part of the look.
I printed a Pet G. In Pet G, I printed a back piece, and I held it up and I was looking at it, and I dropped it onto the carpet.
Yeah.
What?
And it shattered. So, yeah.
My Pet G, that's all Pet G, and it's taken a beating. There's a couple pieces I've had to repair, but so far I've beat it up quite a bit, and I'm happy with it. But I don't have any ABS kits. I just started, or I just got everything I need for my my Return of the Jedi Scout. I haven't started on it yet, so I will soon have my first set of ABS.
Sweet.
Yeah, I just actually got my boots from Chris today. They just arrived today, so
awesome.
I'm excited to get started on that. I'm sure I'll have many questions, but I don't have them yet because I really have not dove in. But that's gonna be my next project.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's ever willing to spend a lot of money building a 3D print armor, I think it's TPE. is half solid, half flexible. So it's basically like really hard polyurethane, and you can print it, but it's like I think a kilo is like $120, and
PPE?
PPE.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
How hot does it need to be printed?
If it's probably like the TPU, it's 200 roughly, something like that.
Okay.
But you're going to end up spending twice as much as you would on an ABS kit just to print
Yeah.
everything. That's before
Yeah.
finishing work and all that other stuff. It's the kind of thing you do because you want the project, not because you want something easy or cheap.
How's sanding with that stuff?
Not great. I mean, TPU doesn't sand at all. Like,
No,
it's
CPU does not sand at all.
Yeah. So you have to print in whatever color. But I think the TPE can be mixed with other filament depending on if you have like a dual extruder that can feed together. This is very expensive printers that do this kind of stuff, but it is possible.
What's the stuff that Mr. Paul was using? Because I know, like, you know, he was figuring out the exact material that they used on screen, and it's like a, you know, semi-flexible material for the Shore Trooper. I remember he just kept. Maybe he sometimes he doesn't always tell us everything he knows.
No, he does not share the details. He'll tell you he's onto something, but he won't tell you.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. He's I think he casted some parts.
Oh, was it cast? Yeah, maybe.
I think he was casting those. I don't think those were 3D printed.
Yeah, it was like a semi-rigid, like rubber material or something.
Right, but he was throwing it on the ground and it was bouncing. And mhm.
Yeah,
he's trying to emulate that injection molded stuff that they did on the production.
It's the same. If you get a resin printer, a big enough one that you can print full pieces, you can print in semi-flexible resin, and it's basically like cast polyurethane again. Like, but that stuff can actually be painted and sanded because it's still a resin. But
I've done a couple parts. I'm gonna redo my collar yoke out of half tenacious, half Ceratec blue, and that combination gives you the rigidity and the flexibility, and it won't snap off those tabs, because that's what snapped off. That's the worst part of my 3D printed costume is those tabs. I have to repair those every troop. But if you get a big enough resin printer, like Justin said, you can print in that half and half, and I think it's like the perfect. I have another kit that I did that with, and it's great. You can bend those tabs down; they don't snap. Good stuff.
That's my patrol. I'm lucky enough that the patrol is white, so my collar is printed in a TPU so that I can pop it on and jam it in, and it just I can tie the thing in a knot if I wanted to. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I'd like to know how we can get into more in-person armor parties.
Where are you, Jessica?
California, Southern California.
Where in Southern California?
About a couple hours outside of LA.
We're not a couple hours outside of LA. We're right on the border of LA and Riverside County.
Okay. Well, we mostly do them at Justin's house. If you're talking like Pathfinder specific armor parties, there's a garrison-wide armor party. I think it's today, right, Justin?
Oh God, I don't even know.
I think Ardisher's at Ardisher's house.
It's set tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow? Okay, so there's a huge armor party happening tomorrow. But
where's that at?
We do Pathfinder specific armor parties at Justin's like whenever he feels like letting us come over his house.
Like it's
We'll
like
bring pizza.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's like every 3 to 4 months, and we're in Santa Ana.
Oh, okay. Oh, we could probably make that work.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will probably be driving about as far as I have to drive to get there. Usually takes me about an hour to an hour and a half.
Worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because work gets done.
Right.
Things get done.
I'm about 7 hours away. Maybe I'll make that drive.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. I feel like that's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we have a lot of tools too. So like because it's Pathfinder, like I know which what stuff you need for our kits, and so we have a lot of tools, sewing machine, whatever you need. Like,
Oh, that's helpful.
yeah,
If you're like,
I'm
you
sure
know,
people bring stuff too as well.
yeah.
not just cookies either. They bring rolls of
To
Velcro
the dark
and
side.
plastic and rivets, and if you forgot something, it'll probably be there.
I've slowly been stocking our garage for the same purpose, with the intention of maybe one day hosting an armor party. So that's kind of been the goal in the back of our mind. We picked this house because it has a 3-car garage, and we turned it into a workshop for cosplay and props, and that's all it's in there. So
Nice.
Yeah. A lot of times you buy things in bulk because it's just cheaper, and you end up
Yep.
you use 2 of them. And so when somebody needs, like, when we
We
figured
like to
out
share.
the zip tie shoulder mounts, I have a box of those plastic mounting like pieces, and so every time people are like, well, I don't know where to get them, I was like, here, just take the ones you need. Like, we've got plenty to spare. Yeah, I'd imagine we'll probably end up having one over the summer. Hopefully before it gets too hot. So yeah, I usually post them on the Facebook, the Scout Team 6.
That's
Facebook
good. I'm
group.
part of the page now, so we can look for that.
Yeah. We
Oh,
we're gonna put them there. Yeah.
Well, that would be awesome.
Justin, what kind of infill and wall thickness settings are you using when you print armor?
That's a fine line. I usually print at, let me pull up my slicer and I can tell you right now. No, I don't want to update. Although it takes forever, I usually print at 0.2 for layer lines, just because I hate sanding. I'd rather a print take a week and I don't have to spend a day sanding, or less time. Minimum 3 walls. If it's a chest, they're gonna be a little beefier just because I'm afraid they'll break, which they have. Things like forearms, biceps, you can get away with them being lighter and a little more fragile. Infill, usually 15%.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Well, yeah, if you're printing Pet G, because that's pretty much what I printed. Justin's on point with all that stuff right there.
Yeah.
I do 3 or 4 walls, 15% infill.
I did her later pieces at 20% infill, and I did 4 layer walls because some of the stuff that came out early was coming out too thin, and I actually think it was probably only set to 1 layer for some of the surfaces, and so like it was immediately breaking when we went to sand it. So we reran some of the pieces with the heavier thickness, and it's taking longer. But I started printing all of this stuff in December because I knew we wanted it by May. So it's with plenty of lead time. I don't care how long it takes. I really just want it to last.
Yeah, it's always going to be a toss up between how heavy you want it to be, how strong you want it to be, and how long you have to do it, because it's a toss up between those things. But 15 to 20, like it's probably a little thicker than you'd need, but I mean, it's not going to hurt you to print at that 4 and 20%. That's totally fine.
It's heavy. I should probably give her my armor because like her stuff is 10 or 11 times because I'm pretty sure this is just lightweight ABS, and it's super light, but like even her knee pieces are like, you can knock somebody out if you hit them over the head with it. It's pretty thick.
Yeah. I mean, printed armor is always going to be
I'm good with the heavy armor.
Yeah. As long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point I exclusively print in Pet G because I know people have trouble getting their printers dialed in. I switched from PLA to Pet G, and it's been nothing but great for me. Like, it just prints hot. My printer sits in a closed enclosure, and
once you get it dialed in, it's great. It's just getting it dialed in.
And the sanding. Oh my gosh, it helps so much with sanding.
I don't have the patience for that. How's the smell on the Pet G? Is it bad?
It doesn't have a smell.
No smell.
It's not bad at all. No.
I mean, don't obviously with anything that's with hot plastic, don't sit there like inhaling the vapors of it for like an hour, but there's no noticeable smell from it.
No, I mean I print in the garage, so I don't have to deal with it. But yeah,
my problem right now is that I bought the 3D printers and they're sitting on top of the tables that are supposed to be for the vacuum forming table that we were building, and I would like to get them off of there so I can get back to the vacuum forming table, because what I'd like to do is just print a set of Scout Trooper armor and then just go vacuum sand it, finish it, make it all nice, and then just go vacuum form over it so I can run off a set for her, a set for the 2 boys, and then we have 4 sets of Scout Trooper armor off of one print, instead of it's been 3 months of printing, 4 months now of printing, and we only just finished printing the set. So
I mean, it'll make you feel better. I 3D printed a speeder bike, so just your time is okay.
we're talking about that. We like that video of the guys in New York that are riding around on the electric bikes with the speeder bike frame on top of it. We want to do that.
I got files if you need them. Yeah, I've got one. I've got an e-bike and as a speeder, and then we have a prop bike that's for people actually sitting on. But yeah,
he used it in the 2023 Hollywood Christmas parade. It was awesome.
Yeah. Until Stephanie jumped out in front of me and I almost slammed into her at like 20 miles an hour.
Oh, jeez.
I was just curious. I saw, just because I kind of see it in the background of Justin's screen. I hear a lot about like the Husky cases for carrying your equipment around. I tried looking up the different kinds. I saw some that were at Home Depot. Is that usually where y'all get some of these Husky cases?
Yeah,
okay.
That's where both of these were.
Yeah, keep an eye out for a sale.
Yeah.
I got something like that for my husband as like a gift one year.
Oh, okay.
They were on sale for $50, and I swooped in and grabbed one.
Okay. That's definitely good.
The Scout fits really nicely in the half size one. Like the TKs need the full size one usually, and we can get away with it
too.
Yeah. I don't keep my helmet in there though.
I can fit everything. Yeah, for my TK and my Shore Trooper, all fit in one of the full size ones, with the exception of the helmet.
Yeah. Where do y'all put your helmets in?
Motorcycle helmet bag.
Motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a note of that.
It's like it's one thing if your armor gets scuffed up, but everybody stares at your face and your helmet, so you try to keep your helmet in pretty good condition if you can.
Yeah.
I might be able to get away with it if the Shore Trooper needs to be beat up, though.
Yeah.
I pull my TK out about once a year, and I go through is it Novos? Is that the one that makes the polishing spray? And I have all the buffer pads for my drill, and I spend like 2 days out in the garage just buffing the crap out of it.
Okay. Build a Scout. You never clean it.
Yeah.
You clean the undersuit, and that's it.
I never weathered my Scout, but it just accumulates dings and scratches and dirt from just trooping, and you don't have to worry about it. Did you guys see my ISB officer suit up video? It's been on 501st today.
It's the best.
Guess they just published it like last night or something.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yours, Mike. Yours is in the pipeline. It'll probably
It's in the hopper.
Yeah, it'll probably come out in a couple of days.
Yeah, leading up to Andor, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm totally.
Did you still want the second one for the grunt? I don't have the shock stick, but I have the kit.
I don't think so.
Yeah. How many Shore Trooper suit ups can you watch? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like yours isn't all that dissimilar from mine. So
right. Yeah. I have other new era kits. They just aren't Pathfinders.
Well,
I can do other suit ups.
They were just looking for Andor specific. So
I do. I have the. I know this is not a Pathfinders topic, but I am an Aldani Imperial Army Trooper. I have that full kit.
Oh wow! I mean,
that would be the Spec Ops guys that would need to put that together, right? Unless
they don't know.
Okay.
Because I just communicate directly with Erica, Legion PR officer.
Well, I mean, if you think they'd be interested, I guess put me in touch. I could.
No, I think they would. I don't know. I know they put out a cattle call for all these different costumes that are from Andor. And as far as I've seen, nobody else has submitted anything besides me.
Yeah, I have a specific level 2 Imperial Army Trooper and Aldani.
I can ask Erica if she still needs one, and if she says yes, then by all means, suit it up, send it over to me. I'll edit it and pass it along. I mean,
I have a new Gen TK too, completely done.
We might already be out of time though. It depends on how fast you can do it, because I think they wanted everything by today. If I remember this right.
I'm working on the helmet to go with it right now.
What which one?
For the Imperial Army Trooper, Aldani.
Oh, okay.
Got to do the helmet. I got everything else. Anyway, I don't want to detract from the Pathfinders conversation here.
I don't think it can get any worse at this point. Now, anybody who wants to ask a question, please feel free. We are here for it. Only for like another, what is it? It's 11 a.m., 11:05 a.m. here, so we're at our last hour, folks. You got those burning questions? Let's hear them.
Hey, Darcy, you said you messaged me on Facebook. I don't think I got anything. The profile you messaged, does it have Snake Plissken as the?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Snake Plissken is the one I found.
Okay, yeah, that's me. It hasn't come through yet, though. Let's see.
Check your spam folder, man.
Is there a spam folder on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, sometimes.
Okay, let me see.
There's like the approved.
If you're not friends with somebody, it can go into what's it called?
It's like the messages you have to approve. The message requests.
Oh, is it okay? I think it just came through. Green Lantern, Black Panther.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like I said. Cool.
Yep. I will. I'll send you a bunch of stuff after the meeting.
All right, that definitely works out. Just curious because I see it in the background as well. Your armor, you have it displayed there. Are you just using like a mannequin, or is it something you?
Yeah,
made?
It's a half mannequin. It's just an upper torso mannequin. A super cheap one I got. It's super cheap. Like I don't even actually have the arms in it because it's so cheap that the arms I can't put gloves and stuff on it. I just put it up there for, whatever kit I'm not actively wearing goes up there.
Mike has like 3 or 4 shore troopers, so.
Yeah, I do. All the same helmet, but like the rest of the stuff switches out.
That's a good thing about the shore trooper. The helmet and the boots are always the same.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I do love the shore trooper. It's the one that got me into costuming. For years and years, I was always like, oh, I'll do that someday. And then shore trooper came out, and that's what I was like, okay, now I'm doing it. And then 3D printing made it super accessible for me. So.
I mean, as far as the new Disney armors are concerned, I think it's the best one.
Yeah. I don't know. The patrol trooper is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and the tank trooper I like.
I like the patrol, except for those shins, man. God, I hate those things.
Yeah, I don't have a kit, so I'm not familiar.
It has an ankle loop attached to the shin.
Yeah,
which is all one piece. There's no seams.
Oh,
so you have
no.
to get your foot to go in, and it's
bizarre.
Yeah, it's strange. Like Mickey couldn't even fit his foot through it because it's like if your arch is too high, you can't bend.
Oh, that was my first iteration of my Mr. Paul Shore Trooper shins. I couldn't get my feet through them. I had to totally dismantle them and then reconfigure it so that I could open it enough to get my foot in.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a whole system now though for those shins with magnets and stuff that just it's the best ever.
Oh wow.
Maybe I'll do a write up because I did it for my my Rogue One TK. I haven't, and maybe I'll do a write up on the configuration I came up with because it's awesome.
Post it up on the site, man. Don't
I
keep
will.
it secret.
I will, but I don't have the breakdown, like the in-process shots of it on a Shore Trooper shin. I have it on a TK shin, which is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, I don't want to post it on the Pathfinders forum and have somebody say, "Well, that's not a TK, or that's not a Shore Trooper." So I will build a new set.
And
maybe.
somebody will always say something.
Always.
I gotta drum up more interest in anybody who wants to build a mountain trooper.
Oh yeah.
Is that thing similar to like the tank trooper?
Similar, yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think they share any actual parts except maybe
Oh
the
no.
biceps.
Okay.
Yeah, the biceps and the shoulders, I think, or not even the shoulders. The bicep is the Shore Trooper shoulder or bicep, and then the abs are Shore abs. Everything.
Oh,
else.
okay. So it shares parts with the Shore Trooper, not the.
I mean, it
Okay.
seems like most new Disney costumes do.
It's a strange in between because like the forearms and the hands are first order. It's this weird because it's a first order like armor. It's in this weird in between, like they had converted a Shore Trooper to want to be a first order, and so it's got this strange mix of both generations. Like, yeah.
But they really have gone wild with that back piece.
Oh yeah.
Like every new trooper seems to have that back piece.
Yeah.
Except the mountain. The mountain doesn't have it.
Right.
Yeah. Because they made that toy. I think if they made one in real life, they would have just put the Shore back on it. But they because
I don't know what ultimately. I don't know what the plans. Since it got scuttled.
Yeah.
Guess we'll never find out. At least not anytime soon.
Yeah, I finally got my soft goods from Keep Trooping, and so my top.
Uh-huh.
So I'm set. I just got to finish building the damn thing. I have everything I need. I
So
just
what?
need.
They're all black. The soft goods are all black, right?
Yeah, it's the tanker top, but the bib is I can never remember. The bib is either vertical or horizontal. It's the opposite of whatever the tanker bib is.
Okay.
But the rest of the top is the tanker top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool looking kit, man.
So yeah, someday I'll get it done.
Hey Justin, are there any? I know this is a loaded question, but are there any accurate patrol trooper helmet files out there? I know I have Nico's, but I know that there's problems with that.
Besides toting my own files,
Oh, do you have a set of helmet files too? I knew you had armor.
I do. It's I think between mine or the what is it? Elaine Rivard, those are the two that are probably the most accurate. The DO3D ones are garbage, as usual.
I don't think I'm going to do a full kit, but I do want to build one for display. So I'll hit you up then. I didn't realize you made a set of helmet files. My bad.
Yeah. Send me a message and I'll send you the helmet file. You can, if you're just going to display it, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, I still want to pay you for your time. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Who just joined us?
Somebody just. Luis?
Hi. Greetings from Mexico.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. I'm from Centauros Squad from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Welcome. You have any build questions, or you just joining in for the fun?
Only the fun.
Okay. Well, I guess
My
we better work on
English
that
is
fun then,
very
huh?
bad, but I understand what you say.
Sounds good.
Awesome. We were just talking about the patrol trooper?
Yeah.
Has anybody gotten their hands on that Anovos helmet? Or whatever it's called now?
Not that I know of. I mean, it looks great, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know of any in real life.
The one thing that struck me about that helmet when I saw it, I think it was in Chicago Celebration, was how small it was.
It's interesting.
Like I was like, that is smaller than I expected it to be. And I think a lot of the
Like disproportionately small.
And I think a lot of the fan-made helmets just tend to err on being bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the main things that patrol troopers will tell you is they have a hard time turning their heads because the helmet with those big tubes kind of bangs against the neck parts. I'm not sure if you got the Anovos one, I'm not sure you would have that problem. It did seem a little smaller than some of the other trooper helmets that I've seen. And if they 3D scan the, screen prop like they did the others, then I'm assuming that was a design choice.
I wonder if any of them ever actually shipped.
Yeah, I don't know. If somebody has one, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on my EFX Scout helmet.
Oh my God, are you serious?
12 years, I guess.
I thought they had those now.
No.
Some people have them,
Yeah,
but
some people
apparently
have them.
not everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gone. I'm never expecting to get that ever.
Did they give you the Vader helmet?
No, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I went in on it
nothing
with
at all?
a Garrison member, and like we dropped our money down like right away. He didn't get any offers. We got nothing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Denuo Novo's website right now, looking at the patrol trooper helmet, and I just haven't seen one of the prop makers make one that just nails the look. They're usually a little too boxy.
Yeah, no, it's a good looking helmet. I just it's kind of vaporware though, like until somebody actually chimes in and says, "Hey, you want to see my new helmet?"
Right. And it's only $675.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nuts.
I got a curious question. Something I thought as well when I was thinking about the colors. I know you a little symbol on the head for the shore trooper. You said it was like spicy red or spicy orange.
Yeah.
So I tried to Google that up. I was like, where do I get that?
It's a Montana paint.
That's a Montana.
I used a Montana paint. It wasn't spicy orange. It was I think I used blood orange. Was pretty close to it.
Oh yeah, blood orange.
So the Montana blood. I got 2 oranges. I don't have my paints in here. They're out in the thing. But I believe I ended up using the blood orange. And it was a close match to that Pantone spicy orange.
Yeah. That's one of those things that you're not going to get dinged on.
Actually, I believe the real on set color was red, and I think it's because of the lighting and because I think it was supposed to match their shoulders, but it comes across as an orange. You don't believe that, Mickey?
No. I think it's red too. I think it's
actually a red.
It's like Mr. Paul has spoken.
Yeah.
God's chosen has come down from the mountain and told us that it's spicy orange, and it's like, well, what am I going to do? I think
Yeah.
it's red.
I think it's supposed to. I think they were red on set. But you know, stick with this.
I have a
stick with the blood
picture.
orange.
I have a picture somewhere, and I'm like, it looks red. It
Yeah,
just looks
it
red. I'm so, maybe they weathered it. Maybe from being out in the sun, kind of
Sure.
bleached it or something.
Sure.
But whatever. I think what happened was, who was it? What's his name? Jeff Parks.
Yeah.
Jeff Parks. He's another one of those guys like Kevin Weir, and that work with Lucasfilm from time to time. They get access to the original props from time to time. Apparently, he held up a color code grid to it.
Yeah.
And he determined it was spicy orange.
Yeah.
That's where we got that information from.
Right.
For some reason, he didn't tell me this. He went and told Mr. Paul this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened there.
But I think you're on point there, either through wear and tear or sun bleaching or whatever the case. I think that red ended up losing some of its sheen and just an orange to the naked eye at that point. But it doesn't make sense why that would be orange. And even the whole Shore Trooper paint scheme is off of that old those old Messerschmitt paint jobs from the desert, those desert paint schemes, and there's no orange in that. It's red, blue, and tan, and yellow.
It just seems simple enough. Like, hey, I got this Toyota red right here. Why don't I just spray this thing red?
Right.
But that's a level 2 detail anyway. So
yeah.
And as I'm fond of saying, there are 15 level 2 shore troopers. Mike, I think you are 3 of those.
Yeah, I am.
So it's not
I have a problem.
The vast majority of shore troopers don't go for level 2. It's fine. Nobody's going to look bad. No one's going to look down on you. It's tough. It's a tough costume, and it's a tough costume to get all the details right on. And that's why we have hundreds and hundreds of shore troopers and only like 15 that have gone on to be level 2. It's more like a personal achievement. It's not anything that affects your standing in the Legion at all.
Nope.
Most people don't give a damn.
They don't. It is personal achievement. That's actually on point for me too. Like I started out going, well, I just want to do the best that I can. And it turned out that it just worked out that way. Otherwise, don't worry about it. You're just going out to have fun and troop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Level 2 doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think like for me to just start, making and building it, I guess I just figure if I happen to like by accident or default, but get as close to level 2 as I can, then from there I just go, well, if I just need to, take a couple more steps, I'm there. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to do, like by accident, not necessarily like out the get-go, go for it. But like I said, if I'm going to do stuff from the beginning, like you're saying with the boots, right? Like, sure, I could get them from, keeping trooping. But if I can get the originals, go for it, right? Like if I can get the right color at the beginning, I might as well grab the right color or whatever the case may be.
They're good quality boots too.
Yeah, they're great.
They're not costume boots. You're not going to wear them and then the sole's going to come unglued at some point. And you know what I mean? They're great boots. And it's
yeah. If you're going to spend, $130 on keep trooping, and you can spend an extra $60 to get the good ones from Catherine, then just get those.
They're not even that much.
No, they're not. I'm drawing from memory, but yeah, you're right. They're not that much.
I think when I got mine, they were like $110. I know it was several years ago, and I did have a coupon code or something because I think Ardmore was having a sale when I bought mine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close in price when I clicked on the links that you sent me. And they're not that far, like maybe $10, $20 tops difference, maybe.
Yeah. And Ardmore has sales all the time too. If you subscribe to them, you'll get emails every couple of weeks, you know. So you might want to keep an eye out on that. They shipped fast also, from what I remember.
That's good.
But it has been, I mean, it's been about 6 or 7 years since I started my short trooper build.
Two things about the ammo patch. One, do y'all, because I didn't see it like on the CRLs, is it need to be or optional for it to be like weathered?
Most of them are pretty beat up just because
if you're getting one of those Yugoslavian pouches, right? They're already, you actually kind of have to do some work to make them less beat up.
Yeah, some of them can be pretty rough. And depending on how cheap you go, you might find yours has mold on them.
Mine did. It wasn't really
bad.
but it was definitely mold. I had to keep it. The only way I got rid of that smell was I kept it in a cooler with a bowl full of vinegar for like 2 weeks to get rid of the moldy smell. And then once I didn't really weather it, I did my best to kind of match it to my boot color, but that was just a personal thing.
Yeah. I didn't darken mine up as much as they are on screen, and I should do that. Just hit them with some shoe polish or something to darken.
Yeah, I used a combination of brown shoe polish and what the hell is saddle soap, and so I used a combination of those two things to get that darker color that was closer to my boot color.
Yeah, I think mine smelled like it had been in a basement for.
It probably had been.
So yeah, so I just left it out on my balcony for months until sun.
My first pass was I soaked it in lemon juice to kill all the mold, and then it still smelled.
Yeah. So Darcy, to answer your question, unless you somehow have gotten your hands on a brand new. There's going to be little weathering that you have to do.
Mine actually, I have to pull it out. It's crazy. Mine actually has some where they scratched into the back of the leather. You know, whatever soldier probably had it was scratching something into the back. Pretty
How
crazy.
many people he killed?
I don't know what it was. It looked like a couple hash marks. It could have been. I don't want to think about that.
And you do have to cut the strap, so don't get too attached to it. At some point, that leather strap's going to have to be cut.
Yep. That's another thing I think I'll have, Darcy. I think I have some instructions on where to cut and all that.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Sure. Also, just curious. So I was going to make this like also part of the ammo patch, but I'm going to change how I'm going to word it. This is probably for everyone that's been trooping. What do y'all necessarily do with like phones, keys, wallets, stuff like that? Like, do y'all just leave it in a bag, or y'all wear underpants, or how do y'all do that?
I could actually fit my glasses in the ammo pouch in my short trooper, and my my first pair of trousers had pockets. My dark side closet ones don't.
Yeah,
so,
I don't have pockets.
Yeah, everything else gets left in the bin pretty much.
Yeah, it gets left in the bin. I don't carry anything. I know that's not a good answer. Usually, if you're with the Legion and you're on a troop, they usually have a dedicated space that's pretty safe to keep that stuff in.
Find a scout and befriend another scout that has an extra pouch space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I got plenty of places to hide stuff. With the short trooper, I do not.
My wife's usually my handler, and she's taking a bunch of pictures all the time, so I just usually hand it to her. And if I need my phone to be with me.
I wonder if you could put because I know my patrol has a lot of chest space. I wonder if you could put a Velcroed pouch inside the chest.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That'd be a good place to stash stuff.
It's like a bra pocket.
Yeah. I think that's probably your best bet if you wanted to hide something somewhere. Yeah, and I don't know. you said you have the Keep Trooping trousers.
Yes.
Do they have pockets?
I don't know. I should check them.
Yeah, the Dark Side Closet ones do not. And those are the trousers I have.
I don't think they had pockets, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I don't think so.
The first set of trousers I had were like, I don't know where they came from because I bought them secondhand, and those had pockets, and that was great. But the ones I have now do not.
Yeah, I was just curious. The last
I can slide my glasses into one of the ammo pouches in the ammo pack, and that's about all I can carry.
You probably could fit keys in there.
Yeah, that's true. But they're not. It's not as big as you think. You don't get much storage space in that ammo pouch at all.
Yeah, I figure not. I helped out at Awesome Con, and when I was there, they had their own room as well. And I think I did notice a lot of people kind of left stuff in their crates and stuff because that was a secured room, not accessible to the public.
Yeah.
So I think most of the time, most people do that. But I was just curious if there was any point of time I go trooping, or even if I just wear that outfit outside of trooping, maybe just like on my own, and I go somewhere and there's not a designated spot to where I go, well, I don't want to just leave my keys underneath the tire and be like, okay, I'll be back for work.
And like troopers over the years have devised little things that they'll sell like on Etsy, like little trading card pouches. You can slide up your armor, and there's things out there that people have come up with. But the kit out the box, out the door, you don't have many, storage. You can probably fit your keys inside the ammo pouch.
Yeah. I saw one video where I don't think his suit was approved. It was just him doing the armor and cutting and stuff. So I was just watching, looking at tips. And one of the things he did was he had his phone and I think a wallet. He put I think it was Velcro, and he somehow was able to fit it inside the armor. So he put it on the armor first, and then he put the armor on. Yeah. I mean, he couldn't really check it while he was wearing it, but I guess
it's on his person.
It's on him. So he could just go around without a backpack and stuff. And I was like, I guess if
you probably have a little bit of a cavity in the back box. Like you probably could do that back there on the short trip if you really wanted to.
I'd say either inside the chest or inside the back are your two best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not really any other good place to stash stuff in that costume.
Okay, that definitely works. When I was looking at armors, because I saw your video, Mikey. So I was looking at places to get it and 3D printing and all this other stuff. But one of the reasons why it kind of went with Imperial Surplus was simply because on your video, you showed the back piece, and that one piece that's in there has a little hose in there. And a lot of the places don't have that little hose. And you said a lot of people get in trouble with that one. I'm like, nope, I'm not going, you ain't going to get me.
I don't know why that detail gets missed, but it gets missed often, and not just for the short trooper, but for any costume that uses that back piece. And we had one of our patrol troopers go for level 2, and they had the same problem. They didn't have the hose at the tailor when he applied, and he just got some hose and cut it out and jammed it in there, but it's a detail that's missed on a lot of the costumes for some reason.
Double check your pants from Keep Trooping, because on their website it looks like they have pockets on the front that are built right onto the belt line seam. They're not like normal standard pockets, but nice. They're pockets that go vertically. So you might actually have them.
Okay, good. I have to check it. I got it in the bin over there. I gotta take it all out and check stuff. Because I ordered that way before the armor. So I was just kind of waiting for everything to come together.
That's how you do it.
Frog mouth pockets. I think that's what those are called.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know sometimes it's, especially if you're trooping things that aren't official troops, it's good to have an ID key on you, because you never know when someone's going to roll up on you. And we have a situation like Manny had.
Oh God, no, poor Manny.
So it's not a bad thing having at least your ID on you at all times.
Our buddy Manny was on a troop as a shore trooper carrying his E-22 outside of a library or something, and some citizen freaked out, called the cops, and next thing you know, Manny's on the ground
Oh,
getting his costume all bashed up.
come on.
I know he's like the nicest guy in the world too.
Yeah.
Like, could have happened to a nicer person.
Not only did someone call the cops, but then the cops showed up and threw him on the ground because he had a laser blaster.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, honestly.
That's, dude.
Yeah, I think the short trooper would be my first outfit I have that will have like an actual firearm.
Honestly, I don't carry mine around.
Yeah.
I it's cumbersome. It's heavy. You know, even strapping it around your shoulder, you risk the strap buttoning your shoulder bell. I just leave it in the bin. I like freedom of movement and, you know, not to have to. I'm old. Things hurt my back easily. You know, so I have an E22. It mostly just stays in the bin.
I do too, and it is the same thing. It gets cumbersome and heavy. I might carry it around for the first 15 or 20 minutes, then go put it away, and then just walk around without anything. That's the nice thing about the Andor stuff. Now you got a little small sidearm. You can
That's true.
hang it your side.
You get the little pistol.
Yeah. Or if you go grunt, you can just get yourself a baton.
Right.
That's nice and easy.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the CRLs as well.
Yeah, the grunt, we added that because of the riot batons they have in Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they have the sidearms too, don't they?
The grunt, I think.
Yes.
I think
the grunt also has the sidearm, but they also have the baton too. The squad leader does not.
Does not, because he doesn't have it. Yeah. He doesn't carry it on the show.
No.
Yeah, I think I mean, just for me to do everything, but I think I only really thought for the E22 because I have seen stuff where people have them, don't have them.
They're cool.
The E22 is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking gun. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It's just that like Mike was saying, you carry it around for about 15 minutes and you're like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Figure I'll be like, all right, get all your photos now. Are you done? Okay, put it away.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You could also carry an E11 too. That's acceptable.
Right.
A little smaller.
Yeah. And more, you have a bigger variety of prop makers that make them. You can get ones that are like
rubber,
super light rubber, you know, don't weigh anything at all.
Right.
The E22s are a little trickier.
Is anybody making a rubber version of the E22? I've never really looked into it to see if that's even a thing.
Did Praetorian try that?
That maybe.
Or they?
Because they came back for a hot minute, and then are they still back? Because
didn't they? I thought they sold all their stuff to.
They did, and then they started saying, "Oh, we're going to do some runs of stuff," and it was all I saw for like 2 weeks, and then nothing.
Corey is usually the master of prop makers. Well, for some reason, he knows everything about every prop maker.
I do remember Praetorian coming back with a big announcement, and I know they went quiet for a while because I think there was like a flood or something like they had some sort of I don't know, but I do remember them coming back. I don't remember an E22 with them. They were, if I recall, they were mostly sticking to the Scout holdout blaster, the E11s, and then the DLTs. I don't remember them doing a.
They even showed that they had pulled out the molds for their T21s, but I never saw them do a run of that stuff. But you're right, it was the DLTs.
Yeah. I can't remember. I mean, I remember they were back. I don't know how the volume that they're working right now though.
Let's see. I'll look them up.
I mean, their Etsy store is still live.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually filling orders.
Hi, Luis. Yeah, I don't. I printed mine out years ago when I got approved, and
Never look back.
it mostly just stays in the bin.
I
And
don't
there's also a lot of troops that you can't bring firearms to. Ever since that guy shot up, what was it, Phoenix Convention Center a couple years ago? Yeah, a lot of places have really tamped down on realistic looking weapons, and unfortunately, the E-22 is very realistic looking.
Yeah.
It's not, doesn't scream, space gun to, average Joe Q public.
Yeah.
So
I was just curious. I've looked this up, so I thought it was this particular way. But so if you, let's say I go to have my suit approved and I don't have the E-22 blaster, but then later on I want to use it, do I have to redo the process all over again?
You might have to, it depends on your garrison. You might have to just clear the weapon with your garrison. But garrisons are all different too. So we can't, as a detachment, advise you there. Some garrisons wants you to clear every little piece, even if it's after you've initially been approved. Some don't care. That's really,
some garrisons will be based off of what the visibility of the event is too. If it's a low key event, they may not care, but if it's high visibility where Lucasfilm or Disney might have eyes on it, they may want to make sure that everything that you're carrying has been approved and cleared and is accurate and all that stuff.
Yeah, like here in Southern California, we are in the heart of the empire.
Sure.
Right. Me especially, I live in Burbank. Disney is right down the street from me. So we have to be like super careful that we're always presenting the brand well and not, getting the rest of the Legion in trouble with hijinks and goings on. But people out in some far-flung garrison in Southeast Asia or whatever might be able to get away with more stuff. It's you just kind of get, your garrison leadership can kind of guide you here. This is, as a detachment, we can't really say. We don't do the approvals, we just help you build your costume.
But if you're printing out that Helvio E-22 and you finish it decent, you're not going to have any problem getting that thing cleared.
All right, we got about 20 minutes left by my watch. How's it going up in Canada, Dart? You ready to go to your state yet?
Says Canada's pants. Nah, it's all good.
Awesome. You're not going to Japan?
I'm in Japan. What are you talking about?
You see the future behind him.
The future. No, I wish.
Mad scientist lab.
I wish I went to Japan. That looks like it would be so much fun.
I'm having serious FOMO right now.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of everybody that's going.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Andor premiere on Monday, so I'll get over it.
They have not announced any premieres here. Usually they have it at the Presidio here in the Bay Area. They'll do, and we haven't heard anything. Usually we get a little invite. Haven't heard anything about the premiere.
I know we're having one up here, and we had some casting for costumes. So a bunch of people went up and did that for both Rebel Legion and 501st. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
Nice.
But it was a small number of seats, so it's like I couldn't get in. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, no, it's all good.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. It's this Monday. It's like at 7 o'clock or something like that in Hollywood at Disney's premiere theater, the El Capitan. So I saw.
You dressing up for it, Mickey?
Yeah, ISB.
Oh yeah,
They wanted Andor costumes.
That makes sense. That's
My
perfect.
wife's going to be Deidre Mir. I'm hoping to get a picture with her and the real deal.
That would be awesome.
I assume everyone here is going to be going back to theaters on that 25th of this month.
For
was it 20th anniversary
of Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
Man, I would like to, but my daughter is just so scared of the movies. She still thinks it's too big and loud, and
Gotta train her early.
I've tried. Believe me, I have tried.
How old is your daughter?
7.
Yeah, our youngest is 6.
We went to go see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom last Sunday, and
everyone.
That's big and loud.
Well, she's seen it at home, other than the heart part. I always skip that part.
Yeah.
But at the theater, my wife just took her out for like 20 minutes and walked her around, and then for all the really dark stuff in the middle, and then she came back for all the ass kicking stuff at the end.
Nice.
She likes Short Round. It's just,
Just tell her it has Sailor Moon in it. She makes a special appearance, and she'll be go for it.
She's already seen it. I can't tell her. We did do that Sailor Moon live thing though. That was great. She loved it.
Those pictures look rad.
It was cool. It was really cool. The whole thing was in Japanese. They had it subtitled up on the screen behind them.
That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's a direct from Japan production. So all the performers, they're all Japanese. And everything's in Japanese. It's just all subtitled on the screen.
Nice.
It's very cool. What else? What else is happening? So yeah, I'll try to go see Revenge of the Sith. I just don't know if I'll be able to.
Yeah, I'm doing a like as a wrangler, I guess is what they would call it. But we have a
handler. Yeah, they have.
On the 25th, I'm going in there to help. I know Joe's going to be there. We're going to go over to it's like the Alamo Draft House theaters, the ones with the bar and restaurants attached to them. So I'll be there helping out. I guess whatever they need, photos, whatever, they need help there. Just trying to still, and I did 2 other events, a parade and one at Awesome Con I helped out. Because even though I'm not suited up, just trying to be a part of where I can, help where I can, and before I
it helps to get that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so excited for that.
Well, we just did the 20th anniversary Kashyyyk coin. I was going to ask John to prep a racing shirt, but with we don't know how much everything's going to cost right now, so I might have to check out some different suppliers. The one we normally use for our shirts is in China, so I don't want to have to we got racing shirts for $100 and they're Kashyyyk racing shirts. I'm not even sure what the demand, the problem with the Kashyyyk merch and why John never wants to do it is because he always gets stuck with a pile of extras because we don't sell that much of it. This coin, for whatever reason, actually sold out within a week. We were like, what? That never happens with Kashyyyk merch.
People love a coin.
Yeah, we've sold coins with Kashyyks on them before. I think this design was just very good. Kento's design, it was very cool. It looked like the Kashyyyk was standing next to a little bonsai tree. It was very neat looking. Sorry, Darcy, we're talking merch. You'll see all this stuff once you get approved. We can't, unfortunately, we're not allowed to sell to non-members. Because Disney don't like that.
There's always something new.
They want you to buy their stuff.
Yeah, one of my friends, he already just joined and got approved. He has like a Jala and a Kylo Ren, And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got this patch and I got this shirt and sticker." I'm like, "Oh, where you get that from?" He's like, "Oh, you gotta be an official member and approved. You can't get it yet." So I was like, "Okay," sulking in the corner, but I was like, "I'll get there." You know.
Yeah, you'll probably a lot of garrisons when there's a new trooper for their first time, somebody will coin you. They'll be like, "Welcome to the 501st," and you'll get your first challenge coin. Probably something they didn't want. Has Jar Jar on it. They just wanted to get rid of it.
I would take it. I still take it.
Yeah. I mean, it's always cool.
Yeah.
It's always cool to have your first coin. But yeah, once you're approved, you'll your access on the Pathfinders site gets bigger, and then you see more stuff, and you'll see where we have all the trooper only info, like how to get trading cards and things like that. Which reminds me, I gotta start the trading card run soon.
Mickey, are you trying to submit for that Disney parade?
The one we're not supposed to talk about, Justin?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna submit for it.
Like, it's on the forum. Whatever.
It's on our forum.
Yeah. Nobody would have access to it anyways, and unless you're going, it's not going to matter.
That's true. Yeah, I'm going to submit for it.
Are you going to submit officer or scout or both?
Both.
Yeah.
And just see whatever one they want.
That's cool. Yeah, we took Daniel Craig's submissions yesterday.
Oh, is he reapplying?
Well, he's trying to go. He's still in, but he's trying to do he's trying to go for that parade.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was keeping up with his trooping or not.
With his scout, he has been. Like, we've trooped with him a couple times this year. Like,
okay.
I don't think he keeps his shore in working order. Like, but
I haven't done a scout troop yet this year. But I was planning on May the 4th. I signed up for 2 troops already.
Busy day.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
I did WonderCon in my ISB, so I could easier to talk to people that came up to the booth.
Yeah, when I do booth duty, even as my scout, half the time I just sit there without my helmet on because it's just, you're trying to recruit people. They want to talk face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I usually just split my time up anyway. Like, I'll just do like the first hour or two, like in the scout, and then I'll go change and I'll come back and do table duty for the rest of it in like our baseball shirt or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, Corey. I don't know about the baseball shirts. I got to find out what Keep Smiles prices are going to be.
Well, I thought there was that. Didn't they have the sports jersey ban? Isn't that like a Legion wide like ban on sports jerseys that was in an announcement like 2 years ago or something? Is that still in effect?
I'm trying to remember if we determined baseball shirt was affected by that or not. I don't remember. Those rules change every year, so
yeah.
It's
I just never saw. I don't think I ever saw an update to it since like that announcement came out.
I don't think so either. And I know they're in the middle of. If you guys have been on the forum, they're proposing more rules, more merch rules. So it's just hard to keep up with it all. I don't mind making less merch. That doesn't bother me, but it's just, you hate when you submit something and they're like, well, you didn't include a little picture of George Lucas in the lower left corner of the design, so you're going to have to redo this. And it's just like, oh, I didn't know about that rule. So we'll see.
I was just curious with there's different I guess divisions and stuff like that across the country. But is there restrictions as far as like one person can go all the way across the country to troop with another division, or you got to stick with your section, I guess?
No, and you're a Legion member. You're a member of the Legion, which is a worldwide organization. Now, the trooping is handled by the garrison. So, say if you want to come troop in my garrison, you would have to go to our forum, sign up for an account, just like you would any other Legion forum, and then from there you'd be able to put yourself down for a troop.
That can be tricky.
Yeah, there can be
Some garrisons are a little more locked down than others.
Yeah.
Like they have to let you troop, but getting access to the calendar and things like that can be a little tricky.
Yeah. Every
Mhm.
forum's different too, and some garrisons I think aren't even on forums anymore. They've gone on to Discord and things like that. So
And sometimes
I know.
there's caps on like how many people can attend a particular troop and stuff like that too.
what'd you say?
Yeah, I know for us it's usually for the conventions anybody can show up. Just have to like sign up on our forum. So you basically just go to our Legion, our garrison forum, make an account, whatever. It's say, hey, I'm coming from wherever. Can I show up? Like, yeah, sure. Just sign up, and then that way at least we know you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a Legion member, you're a member of the entire Legion. You don't have to get like sign off from your GCO to go troop in, say, Old Line Garrison. You just have to join that forum to get access to the calendar to find the troops and see if there's availability. Like these guys were saying, some troops have caps. I only want 3 troopers. One of the troops in my garrison that a lot of people come from other garrisons is the Hollywood Christmas Parade. That's got an unlimited sign up, so people come from all over for that one. We had a guy from Singapore, I think 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Christopher. Yeah.
Yeah, the bigger ones are easier to deal with because like we kind of broadcast them, and if you know other people in other garrisons that like you want to go visit, and they'll kind of work it out for you. So it's not as hard as it seems, especially if you're going to go visit, because a lot of places, if you're traveling, they kind of have groups that are set up to do the meet and greets of travel. We'll go out to dinner with those people, that kind of thing. So it happens if you're traveling. Like it's not that difficult. Just know that some of them can be a little tricky.
I would say if you know that you're going to be like vacationing somewhere and you want to bring your kit and you want to troop while you're there, get forum access as soon as you know, because some forums are better than others at getting you access. Like Dart and I, that's like our first thing in the morning when we wake up with our coffee. Okay, who logged in last night and needs access?
Yeah.
And that's like first thing in the morning, we do that. So Pathfinders, that's one of the things people say about us. We're quick, we're responsive. Other places I've heard, like, I asked for access 2 weeks ago and nobody's picked up my request yet, So if you're going to be going to, Southern California Garrison, say, or, I would get access as soon as you can.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
that the web people in Southern California Garrison are bad. I know them all. They're very nice and good people.
Yeah.
But we hear things about other units and how long it takes to get access. This is a volunteer job. Nobody is paying us for this. So it's hard to expect someone to always be on it, especially in a smaller garrison.
Yeah. I've traveled. I like traveling, so I traveled to different locations. I've been to like WonderCon and D23 and stuff like that.
You just had that.
Yeah. So I just figured, like, if I've been there before, I've cosplayed other stuff, but if I'm going to be there and let's say I happen to have my shore trooper on, I just assume that, okay, well, if there's a spot and I'm able to, be a part of this region's garrison, then I'm like, well, I'm here if y'all need me. You know?
Yeah, we had a guy from Garrison Titan, which is like Washington State, at WonderCon just 2 weeks ago. And same process. He had to sign up on our forum, get access to the calendar, and then sign and then volunteer. It was easy. All right, kiddos. My clock says 12 noon.
Yep.
So that brings the armor party to an end.
Mine says 11:59, so I'll be on for another minute. Mickey's gonna drop off.
He's got to put in his like.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm in the future, y'all.
Yeah.
Jessica, Mark, we keep an eye out for the next in-person Pathfinders armor party that we do.
We will do that. Thank you.
It's always up to Justin because it's his house that we are ransacking.
I just posted it in the chat. Anybody has short trooper questions? I'm Mike Radness on the forums. Hit me up.
Awesome. And I think that's it.
Justin, get my scout trooper completed, and then we can alter who's hosting the armor parties once I join the 501st. So
totally fine.
All right, y'all.
Hey,
All right.
thanks for hosting this. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you.
wonderful. Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one. Take it easy.
Have a great
Bye.
day, everyone.